After a serious accident, you'll need a winning team to protect your rights. Trust Wisconsin's own Ruger offices. Proud partner of your Milwaukee Brewers. One call, that's all.
Give your liver the support it needs with Active Liver. Go to newnordicusa.com, Amazon, or ask for Active Liver at your local CVS. New you, new Nordic.
The place you want to go, Lynch McWanago.
Nobody sells for less than Lynch.
Breaking news as it happens. Stay up to date with your trusted and relevant source in news, sports, traffic, and weather. We are Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
It's 12:01. I'm Greg Matzek. This is Wisconsin's Midday News. It's Thursday, July 10th. Your top story, funeral information for a fallen officer.
I'm Jessica Tighe. Voting to strike.
Beautiful day today, mostly sunny, maybe a little bit of cloud. Chance of rain late, a high of 83 degrees, 77 closer to the Lake Michigan. Chance of rain tonight and potentially some storms, partly cloudy at a low of 67. 71, full of sun in Milwaukee at 12:01. From the WTMJ Breaking Newsroom, Milwaukee Police providing more information about Friday's procession and funeral for fallen officer Kendall Corder.
The public visitation at Elmbrook Church in Brookfield starts at 11 a.m. Friday, followed by a funeral at 2:30 and police honors after that. It'll likely be around 5 p.m. when a funeral procession will bring the officer's remains from the church to Wisconsin Memorial Park. MPD says the procession route will be north on Barker Road and then east on Capitol Drive to the cemetery for that private burial. Police tell us the escort bringing Officer Corder's casket to the church will be at a smaller scale. That will be tomorrow morning around 9-ish. Eric Bilstead, WTMJ News.
Officer Corder died after being shot during an ambush attack last month. The suspect is in custody.
Unionized bus drivers for the Milwaukee County Transit System vote to authorize a strike. Vice President of the local union, Michael Brown, tells WTMJ as MCTS cites fare evasion as the root cause of a nearly $11 million budget deficit. Drivers are dealing with daily threats from unruly passengers.
Our security right now only works Monday through Friday. We need them 7 days a week. We need them at the same time that the buses are running as well. And we need them to do the fare evasion stop, not the bus operator to put them in harm's way.
Talks are scheduled to resume today. A temporary contract will keep bus drivers on the job until at least the end of July.
Another challenge to Wisconsin's congressional district maps.
A new lawsuit filed Tuesday by the Wisconsin Business Leaders for Democracy argues the maps stifle electoral competition. The lawsuit comes 2 weeks after the state Supreme Court refused to hear two similar redistricting cases. Republicans hold 6 of Wisconsin's 8 U.S. House seats, but only 2 of the GOP districts are considered competitive. Wisconsin Democrats held a 5-3 advantage in 2010 before Republicans redrew the congressional maps. Neil Doyle, WTMJ News.
Governor Tony Evers says he's pleased with the biennial budget that passed in record time after quick bargaining and bipartisan compromise. But does that make him more likely to run for a third term?
The budget wasn't a defining moment, believe me. There's all sorts of other defining moments that I can talk about.
Governor Evers also says age is not a factor in his decision.
I don't know how big of a deal it is. I think it's a personal thing for all the folks. I feel good. It feels, my work is really rewarding to me.
Hear the entire conversation with Governor Tony Evers on WTMJ's Point Taken podcast.
A federal judge in New Hampshire is blocking the Trump administration from enforcing its executive order on birthright citizenship. The judge certified a class action lawsuit that includes all children who will be affected. The judge's decision puts the birthright citizenship issue on a fast track to return to the Supreme Court. With this term handed down, a decision limiting judges' authorities to issue nationwide injunctions, but opening the door to class action challenges.
While the court did generally block this practice of nationwide injunctions, it did have those specific carve-outs. This is not a nationwide injunction. So these class action suits that you're seeing essentially will achieve that same effect. It will be interesting to see, of course, how this plays out through the courts, through the appeals courts, and how the appeals courts interpret the Supreme Court's ruling as it relates to this. But right now, of course, the judge is issuing this block on this executive order from going into effect for certain classes of people.
Judges provided a 7-day stay on the order to allow the Trump administration to appeal. Time for news about your money. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. The Dow is currently up about 250 points today at 44,707. NASDAQ bouncing back and forth, currently down about 5 points at 20,607. S&P up about 16 at 6279. For sound financial advice from a fee-only fiduciary, it's Annex Wealth Management. Go to annexwealth.com and click on the Get Started button today.
Find out what the Milwaukee Bucks are doing in Sin City today. That's coming up. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited. WTMJ News Time is 12:05.
News is sponsored by LE Mental Health. Visit lementalhealth.com. With that, here is your LE Health Mental Health Minute.
To better understand yourself and live a more fulfilling life, maintaining mental health is essential. It's every bit as important as your physical health. I'm Kelly from LE Mental Health. If you're worried about cost holding you back, please be aware insurance can and should pay for mental health therapy. The barriers to mental health treatment inspired owners Lisa and Jacob to start LE Mental Health. Our therapists are real people who, like you, have hard days too. They have lots of experience in disordered eating, grief, mood disorders, children and families, substance use disorders, trauma, and more. LE Mental Health's directors, myself and Dawn, are licensed clinical social workers with over 30 years of combined experience. Our therapists address what most don't. The elephant in the room is different for everyone. Let us help you find a therapist you can vibe with and take the first step on your path to improved mental health.
This has been the Mental Health Minute. Come visit LE Mental Health in Waukesha for their open house on July 10th. Get started on your mental health journey today at lementalhealth.com.
It's the biggest door in your house. Time to give it the attention it deserves. Vince Vitrano here talking about Lifetime Door Company in Brookfield. Updating your garage door increases the value of your home. It's the first thing people see, and it's the best return for your money on investment. At Lifetime Door, if you have an emergency, they'll come out 7 days a week to service existing garage doors and openers. 5% off any service or install at Lifetime Door Company in Brookfield. Get started now, 262-783-4004, lifetimedoor.net.
Don't miss the largest vacation sale in the nation coming this July. It's Fox World Travel's exclusive July sale with Apple Vacations and Celebrity Cruises. July is the best time of the year for unbeatable deals you won't get anywhere else. Get the hottest cruise deals or plan ahead for 2026 all-inclusive resorts paired with nonstop flights. Let Fox World Travel book your vacation and secure your reservation with just a deposit. Visit foxworldtravel.com/July and get on the exclusive list. Sale starts soon.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports desk. The Brewers enjoying a day off following a 3-game sweep of the Dodgers.
So many different contributions, from everybody up and down the lineup, and guys stepping up across the entire roster. It's been great to watch.
Brewers GM Matt Arnold. The homestand resumes Friday night with Game 1 of a 3-game series against the last-place Washington Nationals. Brewers reliever Trevor McGill replaces Freddie Peralta on the National League All-Star team. Peralta not able to pitch in the All-Star game because he's starting on Sunday against Washington. And the Bucks begin play in the Las Vegas Summer League tonight against the Denver Nuggets.
Checking out the roads with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. We do have a crash. It's been out there for more than an hour now. When I was doing traffic updates around 10, it was out there. I-43 South, a little bit beyond the ramp from Silver Spring Drive. Left shoulder is blocked right now due to a crash, but the possibility of some good news here. As I'm looking at the cameras, the fire truck that's out there is on the move, so is another emergency responder, so I'm hoping that everybody is going to be on the move here and that this crash will be cleared shortly because it is causing quite the backup right now. Once again, this is I-43 South, right around the ramp from Silver Spring Drive. Left shoulder is blocked due to a crash. A couple of disabled vehicles out on the system, including one on I-94 East right around Barker Road. Right shoulder is blocked due to a car that's broken down, but looks like traffic is moving along smoothly there. I will say 41 today is definitely stop and go in some spots and slow due to our normal construction work. Looks like it's the worst right around Silver Spring Drive all the way down to, looks like it clears up before you get to Burleigh, so that's good news. But headed the other way, it's definitely slow from Burleigh past Curry Park and all the way up to about Hampton.
Mostly sunny today. By and large, a beautiful day. High of 83 degrees, 77 closer to the lake. There is a chance of some rain, maybe some storms tonight with a low of 67. Friday, partly cloudy, humid, chance of thunderstorms and a high of 84. 84 the high on Saturday. Thunderstorms are likely. Partly cloudy on Sunday and a high of 82. 71 and mostly sunny in Milwaukee at 12:10.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios in downtown Milwaukee, it's Wisconsin's Midday News, making stories come to life. Now, here are your hosts, Greg Matzek and Jessica Tighe.
So my wife goes into the office 3 times a week, typically, home on Monday and Fridays, and then in the office, which is downtown, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, typically. And she has asked me to politely remind her when the Brewers have a home day game.
Oh, yeah.
I was trying to get home last night. It was an effort for her. It's like, I was going nowhere. Stadium traffic, and then trying to go north on 41. You can't go anywhere on 41 during rush hour. It's tough enough when traffic volumes are light. But she asked for a polite reminder from her radio professional husband to let her know when there's a day game on a Wednesday.
Yeah,
I said, you should be there.
That's good advice.
Go to the game.
So you're going to give her that traffic report, though, not me, right? You're going to take that traffic.
It's just more letting her know there is a day game. Try and get out early if you can. Yes, we hope there is Brewers traffic for the rest of the season. And why not? The team is performing very well. No game today. The Nationals are in town for a 3-game series beginning tomorrow. 12:11 here on WTMJ.
It's now at noon on Wisconsin's Midday News.
The search in Idaho for a Pewaukee native accused of killing his 3 kids is over. Authorities have stopped looking for Travis Decker in Idaho's Sawtooth National Forest after identifying and interviewing a man who was believed to be the fugitive. Turns out it was just a lookalike hiker. Members of the U.S. Marshals Service found the man yesterday and have since cleared him. Multiple campers spotted the guy over the 4th of July weekend and thought it was Decker. He did match Decker's general appearance, and the campers said he was acting odd. Law enforcement officers are now demobilizing the multi-agency search operation that had been active since Monday. Bottom line, the Pewaukee native is still on the run, if he's even alive at this point. Decker is accused of suffocating and killing his 3 young daughters in Washington state.
Well, tuition could be going up at universities of Wisconsin institutions. UW Board of Regents meeting today to consider a proposal drafted by System President Jay Rothman to increase tuition for resident undergrads by up to 5% beginning next year. Next academic year, I guess. That should be coming up here in August. Rothman's proposal would increase tuition by 4% across the board. The universities then have a choice of raising tuition an additional 1%. Tuition has gone up nearly 8% over a 10-year span from 2015 to 2025 at UW institutions. Neighboring states, however, according to a release from the system, have ranged with increases from 21% to 29% during that same time period. So if you look at it, if you were to guess, the most expensive in-state tuition for the universities of Wisconsin, the system institutions, where would you think the most expensive university is?
Madison.
There you go, $12,166. However, that is just tuition. It does not account room and board and books and all the like. So you're
all that adds up.
Probably getting a little closer to $40,000 with that. But by and large, you've got a range here of about $8,700 to $12,100 for tuition at all these institutions in the state, which many look at and say that's a pretty good bargain. That's a pretty good value, considerable to whatever else is going on around the country with tuition hikes across the board.
Sunday will mark 1 year since a gunman tried to assassinate President Trump. The man targeted Trump at a campaign rally in Butler, Pennsylvania. Now sources are saying in recent months, 6 members of the U.S. Secret Service have been disciplined because of it. ABC's Stephen Portnoy has the details.
The 6 Secret Service personnel who've been disciplined range from line agents to supervisors. Sources say the suspensions lasted between 10 and 42 days. The Homeland Security Secretary told Fox News President Trump has been briefed on changes to Secret Service protocols, including new arrangements for how the agency coordinates with local law enforcement. The current Secret Service Director, Sean Curran, previously served as the leader of Trump's detail, and he shielded him immediately after last year's shooting in Butler.
Remember that bullet grazed Trump's ear. Just days later, Trump showed up earlier than expected to the Republican National Convention here in Milwaukee. He had a Band-Aid over that ear. It was the first time he had been seen publicly since the assassination attempt. A couple days later, also here in Milwaukee, he would recount surviving the shooting during his speech at the RNC, and that was a moment I'll never forget. I mean, out there reporting for WTMJ, being just a couple rows, in front of him, I should say, being right up there. It doesn't matter where you fall in the political spectrum. To see a former president, who would later become president again, talk about someone trying to kill him was quite the moment.
12:15 on WTMJ. We go to Texas and check in with KRLD reporter Chris Fox, who has been in Kerrville, Texas, for the better part of this week following the devastating and deadly floods. Before that, we'll go out to Brookfield, where Vince Vitrano's hanging out at the Pella Design Center. Hey, Vinny.
Hey, Greg, great to talk to you. We are live today at the Pella Experience Center in Brookfield, and we're going to be here through the day in some capacity till 6 o'clock tonight. Would love for you to come by and say hello. We have live broadcasts coming from here at the Pella Experience Center from WTMJ, from ESPN Milwaukee, Wilde and Tausch just wrapping up, as well as 101.7 The Truth. Now, today is the day to stop out and schedule your in-home consultation, either in person or you can do it over the phone or online, and I'll tell you why in a moment. This is about upgrading your windows or replacing your doors. The Pella Experience Center here in Brookfield, it's so great to come out because you get to compare the dozens of different styles and options that are all available, and you can touch the stuff. You can roll the screens back. You can mess with the windows. Do all of it. It's right there in front of you. Here's why today's so important. We have raffles happening every 2 hours. Just did one at noon. The next one is going to be at 2 o'clock where you can win Brewers tickets, College Game Day tailgate passes from ESPN, Iowa versus Wisconsin game tickets, State Fair tickets, Green Bay football tickets, which includes a visit to the Tundra Trio. Plus, if you schedule and complete your consultation by July 31st, $2,000 off your project of $5,000 or more. So we'd love to see you out here at the Pella Experience Center in Brookfield today. Or if you want to get in on all of this, call or book online, schedule your consultation, and get in on these exclusive offers and giveaways. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin in Brookfield. Let's get those home upgrades started.
Tell us a little bit about Innovative Signs.
We're located out in Waukesha. Where we are really focused mostly is manufacturing outdoor electrical signs.
You came to Horicon Bank. How do you think other local businesses can benefit?
When I call, Michelle picks up the phone, and when I email, she responds in a timely manner. A few years ago, I talked to my accountant about shopping around looking for a different bank just to get some alternatives, and he said, absolutely not. You're not going to like working for a big bank. They have a lot more regulations. So that's how we got involved with Cornerstone Bank. When Horicon purchased Cornerstone, we came along for the ride, and it's been great.
Erica, it's good to see you.
How are things at our amazing Germantown location?
Absolutely fantastic.
We heard you had a bold idea. What is it?
We're celebrating our 45th year in business, so I think we should give away some natural diamonds.
Wow, that is a bold idea. How many and how big?
3/4 carat. 9 natural diamonds, each one clarity enhanced for maximum brilliance. 1 diamond for each store.
How should we mount them, Erica?
We'll give them away as diamond pendants.
So each of the 9 Kessler stores will have their own diamond pendant to give away?
Yeah, and all a person will have to do is to walk into a store and register to win.
Can a person travel to all 9 stores and register at each one?
Yeah, why not? And people will have from now until July 28th to register.
I'm in.
Me too.
It's unanimous, and people should bring in all their old jewelry so that we can professionally clean it for them for free.
That makes so much difference.
For the location of the Kesslers nearest you, visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
This is Matt Meitner, owner of Sit Means Sit Dog Training. Do you find yourself talking to your dog but feel like she's not listening to you?
Bella, sit!
Are you constantly repeating yourself but she's not following your directions?
Sit! Sit!
Frustrating, isn't it? At Sit Means Sit Dog Training, we want to help you have a happy, confident, and obedient dog, and we also want to make the training process an enjoyable and worthwhile experience. Contact Sit Means Sit today to schedule a free consultation so we can create a customized training program so you are able to have the dog you want and deserve.
Sit Means Sit Dog Training. Sorry, we don't train husbands, wives, or kids.
Well, members of the Wisconsin Urban Search and Rescue Team departed from Volk Field on Tuesday morning en route to Central Texas. They have arrived. They are on the ground in aiding in search and recovery efforts. KRLD reporter Chris Fox has been in Kerrville for the bulk of the week as the recovery efforts continue. Chris joins us on the line right now. Chris, I had to take note of the equipment that the folks from Wisconsin brought with them to Texas. It included 3 dogs, and my first thought was, those are cadaver dogs, and it's a sign that this search effort is turning into more of a recovery mission. Is that what you're seeing?
Absolutely. And there is a shortage of dogs. They've been talking about that for the last couple of days. So it is amazing to see. I noticed a lot of states driving in yesterday, especially. I saw Missouri. So today, Kerrville Police Sergeant Jonathan Lamb mentioning that so far 10 states have sent specially trained teams. 2 more were on the way. It's amazing the outpouring of support. It is yesterday's press conference. I think it was a little bit more interesting in that this is a tragedy with inspiring stories, and so it's the inspiring stories that keep people in Kerrville going. It keep going from yesterday to today. I mean, it literally is the only thing keeping people going. It's a new normal here, and it's search and rescue, or it's search and recovery, and moving. We're in day 7. They haven't found there hasn't been a live rescue since Friday. Nobody wants to say what you said, but it's in everyone's minds and hearts.
Yeah, and it's so hard because that death toll just keeps going up. And with the number that are still missing, we know that it's going to continue. Chris, that
was the gut punch. That was what people, residents here were saying is we were kind of told different numbers going on, through Monday, Tuesday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, dangling numbers like 25 to 45. And then when Governor Abbott quickly jumped up with 161, that was literally what, as one gentleman, an older retired gentleman, said to me, that was a gut punch. That was not realizing that. Also, one of the things that the same gentleman had said to me earlier was, I thought we might be through the recovery effort in a few days. And what that means is search and recovery it's a new normal in Kerrville and Ingram and Hunt and Center Point and Comfort, Texas. It's the new normal.
Chris, I was also wondering about some of these first responders. I mean, at some point you have a shift in these stories, right? And attention will have to turn to the health needs of some of these first responders. Is that being talked about yet? Because they're seeing, yeah. I mean, it's one thing to recover bodies, right? That's terrible. It is a whole other thing to recover the bodies of children. It's just horrendous.
Yeah, I talked to a couple that had not found any bodies, but found toys or clothing, children's clothing. And,
it's hard. I think we might have lost. Oh, Chris. Yeah, we I think we lost you for a moment. But you were saying this couple found
because,
toys.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay. Yeah. I just had trouble speaking there because it is emotional, and they were telling me how they literally just fell to their knees crying when they find toys and clothing, children's clothing, and just how overwhelming it is. The state is sending mental health support. It's amazing the outpouring of support for the first responders in every way, shape, and form. I met with groups of people that have set up donation staging sites, and the one gentleman was asked by the Center Point Volunteer Fire Department to set up for them because they were swamped in dealing with volunteers, and he's now that's now feeding and getting water and hydration and supplies to 30 miles away to first responders. So it's amazing to see how life has changed here, to adapt, to fix, to make things better, to find solutions to help.
Chris, can you give us a sense of the geography here, right? We understand where the Guadalupe River is, and the story has certainly brought it to light. How far, on either side of the banks of that river is the damage? I mean, is it really concentrated along the line of the Guadalupe River, or are you seeing damage much further inland?
It goes. And it's hill country, so it can go up high in both opposite directions. So I'll give you an example. A gentleman, husband and wife, I met yesterday, have lived in Kerrville for 15 years. They were out of town last weekend in Alaska, and I was there at the pavilion at the bluff overlooking the Guadalupe when they arrived for the first time, to see it for the first time since arriving home. And one of the things that the husband pointed out was, look at that cypress tree. You can see where the water level was based on the bruising of that branch, and it's 30 feet in the air.
Wow.
And he said you really can't get a feel for how that could possibly be, but it was. And I'll give you an example. It was at 6:35 in the morning on Friday. The river at Kerrville crested at 34.6 feet, I believe. Today it's at 2.12 feet. And so it's almost impossible to understand how high and how powerful and how strong that was. And I arrived early Sunday, and it was to stand in that same spot. You could feel the water, and the power was humbling. It was somewhat scary, the power of it, because just seeing cars go by, and how can this possibly happen? There's a dam right here, a spillover in a dam, and somebody pointed out to me that there are bodies in cars and RVs and houses that are found 20 miles down the river that went over 5 dams and spillways. I mean, that's how high this was and how powerful it was. And what was in the middle of it was all these old, beautiful, huge cypress trees. And these are strong trees. To give you an example, 100-year-old trees. Now, I was told that most of the ones right there in Kerrville, especially 100-year-old trees. And they didn't get uprooted. They got snapped in half. And that alone, I mean, it's just – and when the water was above them, the ones that were all doubled over, they were like a filter. And so what's left now is everything that was caught by it, kayaks, boats, cars. You see things that you think you recognize. Is that a tire? Is that a fender? You know, and your mind has to, for a moment, has to try and decipher what you're exactly looking at. And it's disorienting. And then to add, like I said, Sunday, add the power of the water to it. It's just humbling beyond belief and intimidating. And I've never seen water that way, and it was something to experience.
Well, the crew from Wisconsin is scheduled to be in the state for the next 14 days. It could be shortened, could be lengthened based upon the needs of the community. KRLD reporter Chris Fox, we appreciate your time, Chris. Thank you.
Thanks, Chris.
Thank you very much. Sorry about getting choked up, but it's tough not to get emotional.
No apology necessary. It's tough for you, too. Thanks, Chris.
1227 news coming up next here on WTMJ.
Hey, boaters! This is Dave Dorrell from Kendor Marine. And hey, boaters love shopping here. How do I know? Well, most times it's because they tell me, Dave, I love shopping here. But other times it's because they tell you. If you need a reason to come here, just check out our online reviews. They tell the whole story. Boaters in the know exactly where to go. Kendor Marine, 57th and Ryan Road in Franklin.
Hey, boaters! Cruise to Kendor Marine. We got everything you need but the water. Hey, boaters!
At Kendor Marine, we have everything you could want, think of, or wish for your boat. We're committed to making sure you always have a place to fulfill every boating need that you have. And if you ask around, you'll find out our prices always beat the other guys. This is Dave Dorrell from Kendor Marine. Boaters in the know exactly where to go. Kendor Marine, 57th and Ryan Road in Franklin.
Hey, boaters! Cruise to Kendor Marine. We got everything you need but the water.
And now about your house. It's where you live, but do you also live in your yard? My friends at Outdoor Living Unlimited help people extend their home, living beyond the wall. Your imagination may be somewhat limited, so let's call on Eric Brown, president of Outdoor Living Unlimited, to expand upon it.
I'm confident that 90% of the listeners can look outside their home and dream of a better, nicer, way more outstanding backyard. If you're one of the many, you'll need to call Outdoor Living Unlimited. Outdoor Living Unlimited's expert team can design a beautiful, functional, usable backyard space. Then our team can build it. You dream it, we build it. New deck, outdoor kitchen, pavers, retaining wall, screen room. How about a must-see automated pergola that doubles as a screen room? Picture this, a pergola that allows the sunlight through the slats, but with the press of a button, those slats close and now you have protection. Another press of the button and the screens roll down. There's your screen room. The ideas are endless. We recently built a brand new deck with a screen room pergola on top and stairs that lead to a paver oasis complete with a fire pit and seat walls. Amazing. New deck, outdoor kitchen, screen room, automated pergola. Let Outdoor Living Unlimited design and build the amazing backyard. Find us at OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com.
See all the cool things that Outdoor Living Unlimited can do for your yard on their Instagram page, or visit their unique outside-in showroom in Waukesha. And if you're looking outside of your home, dreaming of a more beautiful and functional, usable backyard, well, Outdoor Living Unlimited can design and build you an amazing showstopper of a deck, patio, complete with pergola and fire pit, just like they did for us. With expert care, Outdoor Living Unlimited installed a beautiful paver patio, complete with land and stone retaining wall, all sorts of space, room for a built-in kitchen, and complete with a gas fire pit. It's where we spend all of our time. Visit OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com. It's 12:30. I'm Greg Matzek. This is Wisconsin's Midday News for Thursday, July 10th. Your top story, rededicating a memorial for a Wisconsin hero.
I'm Jessica Tighe. A husband and wife killed in their own home. The suspect, their son.
Beautiful day today, high of 83 degrees, 77 closer to the lake. It's currently 71 and sunny in Milwaukee.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. A federal judge in New Hampshire issued a preliminary injunction blocking the Trump administration from implementing the president's executive order on birthright citizenship. Judge certified a class action lawsuit by the ACLU that includes all children who would be impacted. It follows a Supreme Court decision that limits judges' authority on nationwide injunctions. ABC's Catherine Falder says this is different.
The reality is here that with the Supreme Court ruling, we are entering an entirely different legal landscape. We haven't really seen the effects of that yet. So this is an interesting challenge to observe, especially as it works its way through the appeals court. Of course, as we've discussed, there's that 7-day period for the Trump administration to appeal, which I'm sure they will.
The death toll in Texas jumping to 120 following flash flooding last week, and more than 160 are still missing. Search crews continuing to canvass miles along the Guadalupe River. On Wall Street, stocks are up in afternoon trading. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time is 12:31. Honoring a hero following a powerful community event. WTMJ proud to be a part of the rededication of the memorial to Captain Lance Sidejohn near Milwaukee's Mitchell Airport. Listeners helped raise over $80,000 to help refurbish the F-4C Phantom jet, the same model Sidejohn flew during the Vietnam War before he was captured and ultimately killed. Janine Sidejohn is Captain Sidejohn's sister. She helped spearhead the event.
We tell those who serve, who have given their lives, and the families that love and lost them, we won't forget you.
John Rakir helped organize efforts. He'll join us coming up at about 1:15. Captain Sidejohn was posthumously awarded the Medal of Honor by President Gerald Ford in 1976.
The Wisconsin State Patrol Bureau Director and his wife are dead after a shooting at their home.
David and Teresa Pabst were found dead in their Middleton home Tuesday morning by a family member. Authorities determined their son, 25-year-old James Pabst, shot the two and then fled the scene. Pabst was later approached by deputies on Highway 14 near Viroqua in Vernon County. After an hour without a response to commands, law enforcement approached the car and determined Pabst had died by suicide. The Dane County Executive's office says the gun used in the shooting was legally purchased. Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
The Wisconsin Elections Commission says a former Madison clerk broke multiple laws in November.
An investigation led by the commission found probable cause that Madison City Clerk Maribeth Witzelbell broke 5 state election laws, including failing to properly supervise an election and failing to provide information to poll workers and the Municipal Board of Canvassers. What the commission calls a confluence of errors led to nearly 200 absentee ballots not being counted in the November presidential election. The commission will vote on whether to accept the report's findings on July 17th. Jessica Gatzo, WTMJ News.
As Milwaukee prepares to formulate its 2026 budget, operating gaps stand in the way.
Director of the City Budget and Management Division, Nick Kovac, says there's a $100 million operation gap that needs to be filled.
Other than basically all the non-police and fire departments, we'll be exploring options there.
Mayor Cavalier Johnson says he hopes not to make any significant cuts to any of the city's departments.
We're super early in the process right now, but that's always my goal, is to not have layoffs.
City leaders hope to adopt its new budget by November 7th. Sean Brunda, WTMJ News.
Well, keep your eyes on the road and your speeds low in Kenosha County. Wisconsin State Patrol pilots using aerial enforcement to watch for traffic violations from the air today, focusing on I-94 in Kenosha County. When a pilot observes a violation, they communicate with ground-based units to initiate a traffic stop. The goal? Stop drivers who are speeding or driving aggressively.
Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 12:34.
At Hazelden Betty Ford, treating mental health isn't just about breaking old patterns. It's about braving new ones. As the leader in alcohol and drug treatment for 75 years, we know caring for addiction, anxiety, depression, and trauma goes hand in hand. We're here for you with new tools when life breaks down. Discover your path to better mental health at hazeldenbettyford.org/Wisconsin. Sponsored by Hazelden Betty Ford Foundation.
Loyalty, family,
Few things are more important. This is WTMJ's Steve Scafidi, and Loyal Family Renovations. They saved the day after a brutal storm in Oak Creek. Hail damage, yeah, I had a lot of it. But Jeff, Jake, and the whole team, absolute pros, made the entire process smooth as can be. Let's be honest, not everyone knows how to deal with adjusters. They handle all the questions, quick answers, top-notch customer service in just 2 days. My roof was done. If storm damage hits, call the team that made it easy for me. Loyal Family Renovations. Visit loyalfamilyrenovations.com.
Are you sick of not being your bank's top priority? We are too. At Wintrust, we take a different approach to banking. We're proud to be your one true banking partner focused on your unique financial goals. That's right in your backyard. Whether you're opening your first account, buying a home, planning for the future, or starting a business, we have tailored solutions to get you there. Stop settling and start experiencing a better way to bank at Wintrust.com. Wintrust, different approach, better results. Banking products provided by Wintrust Financial Corp Banks. Member FDIC and Equal Housing Lender.
Restaurant prices are soaring, but not at the Mine Shaft Restaurant in Hartford. WTMJ's John Mercure here. Every Thursday, when you buy one pizza, you get a second pizza free. So don't turn on your oven today. Enjoy a free pizza at the Mine Shaft. Buy one pizza, get one free. Buy 5, get 5 free pizzas. You want 100 pizzas? You'll get 100 free pizzas. Any size, any quantity. Coaches, bring in your soccer and baseball team for free pizza. Your players will love that huge game room. It's super affordable team bonding. Bring in pizza today for your hardworking employees. Order now and pick up your free pizza shortly. They will appreciate you. Don't cook. Take your family to the cool and comfortable Mine Shaft for free pizza. The Mine Shaft in beautiful downtown Hartford and in Oshkosh right near EAA. Buy one pizza today, get one free. Just walk on in. And the Friday all-you-can-eat haddock fish fry is just $7.99. It's big food. It's big fun. It's the Mine Shaft Restaurant. MineShaftRestaurant.com.
Time for WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. The Brewers with the day off following that 3-game sweep of the Dodgers.
So many different contributions, from everybody up and down the lineup, and guys stepping up across the entire roster. It's been great to watch.
Brewers GM Matt Arnold. The homestand picks up Friday night with Game 1 of a 3-game series against the Washington Nationals. Brewers reliever Trevor McGill replaces Freddie Peralta on the NL All-Star roster, and the Bucks begin play in Las Vegas Summer League tonight against the Denver Nuggets.
Let's get you an update on the roads with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic. We do still have a crash that's out there. I-43 South, right around the ramp from Silver Spring Drive. Left shoulder is blocked due to the crash. There are backups because of it, but it's getting better. The fire truck that was there before, that's out of there. Another emergency responder is gone. Right now, there's just one car that's sitting there. So I'm hoping that clears completely in the next 20 minutes or so. I'll keep you posted. But right now, we do still have part of the incident left in I-43 South, right around the ramp from Silver Spring Drive. Left shoulder is blocked. We're also seeing some typical delays on 41 due to the construction.
Beautiful day today, a lot of sun and a high of 83 degrees. We might get a little bit of rain later on tonight. That could linger into Friday. Friday, partly cloudy, humid, chance of thunderstorms. Also, firing back up in the evening, high of 84 degrees. Saturday, partly cloudy, humid, rain likely with a high of 84. 72 and partly sunny in Milwaukee at 12:38.
And I want to know why you want to play on me. Why you want to play games on me. Why you want to play. Why you want to play.
12:38ish on a Thursday. Time to check in with our CBS congressional correspondent. It's Scott McFarland from the nation's capital. Hey, Scott.
Hey, Greg. There's about five of us on Earth who can name that song in 2 seconds or less. I happen to be one of them.
Yes.
I am one of those 5 guys who can tell you that's Chucky Booker and Gaines.
Who are the other 4 people, Scott?
I got to meet them.
Himself?
The band.
Chucky's brother, Chucky's kids.
That's good. I did not know that one. Sounds
nice,
good, but
nice
I thought,
pull. He is so many things, including an aficionado of 90s R&B. It was a little disappointed, Scott. Here we got the Brewers taking on the Nationals beginning tomorrow. I thought we might find you back in Milwaukee to cover that series.
Well, I would love to watch the Brewers play, but let me tell you right now, there is nothing less deserving of people's time than Washington Nationals baseball right now. I mean, they are not up to par. And they just fired their manager and their general manager because even though they're a relatively new franchise with a pretty, smallish fan base, this was unacceptable for the fans.
Well, what are you covering then today? Is it worse than Washington baseball?
Yeah, everything in Washington right now is worse than Washington baseball in its own way to some part of America. First of all, it's hard to get past the fundamental impact on everybody's lives that come from these tariffs and these tariff negotiations. The president's supporters love how he is leveraging these tariffs, trying to enact and exact some better deals with other countries and potentially help U.S. businesses. But there's a little lack of predictability that keeps striking here, and the deadlines keep sliding. Yesterday was supposed to be the deadline for new tariff levels for dozens of countries across the world. That deadline has been slipped to August 1st, and then he pushes forward this new proposed tariff on Brazil, seemingly for geopolitical reasons, because of Brazil's prosecution of one of Trump's former allies, or I suppose it's still his current ally. And a 50% tariff rate on Brazil could be upending to facets of the U.S. economy. And all of this impacts you as a consumer. Prices go up when businesses don't know how much materials are going to cost, and if they have to front load, if they have to change inventory. All of this impacts jobs. And it's hard to get past that being the singular issue of this summer so far for most consumers and most people.
And Scott, I feel like this Brazil tariff, the 50% tariff, that's going to hit our breakfast, the most important meal of the day, they say, right? I mean, you think about the prices for coffee and orange juice.
The things we can't grow here, things we can't make here. We obviously have some advantages in how we manufacture it, and some of the things we can grow, but there's things you have to get from South America. But it's the uncertainty, I think, that is plaguing certain parts of our country. We spent the 4th of July actually looking into this. Those of us lucky enough to be working on the 4th of July spent time talking to small businesses that were open. What is this tariff uncertainty doing to you? And they all say, we may support this, we may not, but the unpredictability is a problem, and we have to get past that. We don't know how to plan for the fall, for back-to-school season, for the holidays. And, yeah, they're doing inventory for the holidays now. And that's going to trickle down, isn't it, to impact some of our jobs and some of our lives.
CBS congressional correspondent Scott McFarland joining us from the nation's capital. A loss for the Trump administration in court here regarding birthright citizenship, Scott. What's the story here? How big of a loss is it? Or is it just a temporarily hiccup here for Trump and his administration?
In practicality, it's small, but it's much more significant if you look at the bigger picture. What a New Hampshire federal judge has done is delayed by a week efforts by the administration to resume this pursuit of banning birthright citizenship. The judge put everything on hold for a week all across the country. It's only 7 days, but this is the first real defining ruling ever since the Supreme Court last month issued their landmark ruling, which made it much more difficult, if not impossible, for that one federal judge somewhere in America to issue an injunction that impacts all of America. What the Supreme Court says, we don't do that in America. That's an overreach by the judicial branch. But if you come back, plaintiffs across the country, and file a class action suit, the kind that crosses state lines, crosses district lines, it involves larger subsets of Americans, then we're back at it. A single judge can issue an injunction and halt things. That's what happened in New Hampshire today. The people trying to stop the president from banning birthright citizenship quickly cobbled together a class action suit, and we're back at it again where a single federal judge can freeze things for an indeterminate period of time.
Scott, we also have congressional Democrats who are pushing for a new watchdog to oversee President Trump's White House. What do you know about that?
This is novel. In the government, there are some very obscure agencies many people have never heard of called inspectors general. These are auditors, investigators, kind of watchdogs who keep an eye on federal government. Pentagon's got a big one, making sure all the things are bought properly and paid the right price. The Department of Justice has one, making sure the employees aren't engaging in misconduct or fraud or improprieties on the job. The agency that does not have a watchdog is the White House. The White House staffers, the White House itself, they don't have anybody keeping an eye on things in the role of an inspector general. So the president's critics, you can guess what party they're in, have said it's time for an inspector general to be set up and stood up to watch the White House to make sure there's not illegalities, improprieties, financial misdoings, and they'd like to make this thing permanent so that presidents of both parties through the years to come have somebody to watch out for misconduct. It's hard to see this getting Republican votes right now because nobody wants to run crosswise of the White House. But this has gotten both parties support in the past. So they're going to give it a try, maybe to get some momentum for this to happen in future years.
Scott, the DOJ and FBI have stated there is no evidence that Jeffrey Epstein had a, quote, client list of individuals involved in his sex trafficking operation. Are they walking back previous statements? Is this just a cover-up? What's the real story here?
Well, this is the oddest of bedfellows issue out there, the Epstein files. You got all kinds of people who do not agree with each other, who tend to fight tooth and nail against each other, lining up together on this. The administration, through its FBI, did put out the memo you referenced, Greg, where they said that there is no Epstein list of clients, there is no evidence of misconduct, or that Epstein was covering or extorting powerful business people. But that's not going to stop conspiracy theories. I'm not sure how you stop a conspiracy theory, because it's hard to disprove some conspiracy theories. And there are Trump supporters, some MAGA acolytes on the right, who do not like how the Department of Justice, appointed by the president, is handling this. And they think that members of the Trump administration, including some very high-profile figures in MAGA world, Ben Bongino, Kash Patel, the Attorney General Pam Bondi, have fallen into the vortex of the deep state and are now part of this deep state. So that kind of conspiracy theory is difficult to stop. It's hard to break the fever, and the statement issued by the FBI this week only spiked the fever higher.
Okay, Scott, I have to ask you, what does the Muppet Show have to do with this? Because I'm always tracking what you're doing, and I saw a video you put up. It was about this, but then it had a video of the Muppet Show, but then there was breaking news I had to get to, so I couldn't listen to it. So I'm dying to know what the Muppet Show has to do with this.
Let's see. The Muppet Show has something to do with everything. Let's be clear. There's always a Muppet Show connection, no matter what we're talking about. Brewers baseball, Chucky Booker music, or this. The point we're making about these conspiracy theories is think of the old grumpuses from the Muppet Show, Statler and Waldorf, the old guys up in the booth who are always heckling whoever's on the stage, Kermit, Fozzie, whoever. Statler and Waldorf are always giving them a hard time. It is easy to be the heckler and criticize what's happening on the stage. It's difficult to be Gonzo, the Swedish chef, or Beaker, and be on the stage and try to perform and try to please everybody in the crowd. That's what's happening here, because Dan Bongino and Kash Patel were the hecklers of their time. They were always out there criticizing what was happening at the Department of Justice. Now they're on the stage, and they're taking the heat, and things could be much more comfortable if Statler or Waldorf ever have to go up there and do a dance.
Fascinating comparison.
Well, if that's not an endorsement to follow Scott McFarland on X, I'm not sure what is. Always great information, Scott. We appreciate you joining us this week. Have a great weekend.
Thanks, Scott.
Good talking to you both.
You bet. Scott McFarland, CBS congressional correspondent, joining us from the nation's capital. Joining us now from the Pella Beautiful Experience Center out in Brookfield is Vince Vitrano. Hey, Vinny.
Greg, great to talk to you. That's a really fascinating interview with Scott there. We are live at the Pella Experience Center in Brookfield, as you said. Going to be here in various broadcast fashion until 6 o'clock this evening. And in a moment, I'm going to tell you why it would be great for you to come by and say hello. Our live broadcast from WTMJ, ESPN Milwaukee, as well as 101.7 The Truth. So whether you want to upgrade your windows or replace the doors, the Pella Experience Center is a really great place to come out here in Brookfield because you get to touch all the stuff. You get to open the windows, check the blinds that are inside, you mess around with the rollback screens. All of those things you can actually touch and feel so you know exactly what you want. And today's the day to come out because if you schedule your in-home consultation, and you can do that over the phone as well or online, you can do it in person. We'd love to say hello. You'll be entered to win a series of raffles. Our next one is coming up at 2 o'clock. We've been doing them every 2 hours. And some really great prizes in here. Brewers tickets, ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day tailgate passes, and tickets to the Iowa and Wisconsin game. State Fair tickets, Green Bay football tickets, a trip to the Tundra Trio is included in that. Plus, here's a great deal. If you schedule and complete your consultation by July 31st, $2,000 off your project of $5,000 or more. So we are out at the Pella Experience Center on Blue Mound Road in Brookfield. We're not far from the corners if you need a landmark. Or you can call and book to schedule your consultation online. Get in on these exclusive offers and giveaways. Today only, Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin in Brookfield. Let's get those home upgrades going.
The historic Fox and Hound Supper Club is the most beautiful and affordable summer dining destination. WTMJ's John Mercure here. Listen to this. This Saturday only, enjoy a 10-ounce prime rib with a mixed grill of 3 shrimp, 3 scallops, and 4-ounce grilled salmon topped with garlic butter and all the sides for $69.99, and that's for 2 dinners. That's right, 2 world-class dinners for $69.99. Relax with a cold beverage on that patio in the woods, then your free dinner in one of the 8 unique, beautiful dining rooms. The Fox and Hounds off Highway 167, 2 miles east of the Holy Hill Shrine. That drive through the Connemara Forest is absolutely gorgeous. And this Saturday only, enjoy 2 prime rib, shrimp, scallop, and salmon dinners for just $69.99. That's ridiculously good. Desserts are always buy one, get one free, and they're fantastic. Great service, great food, but call and reserve today for your free Saturday dinner. The famous Fox and Hounds.
Yeah, thanks, John. Sounds delicious. Hey, if you want a delicious idea for dinner tonight, why not make it a Palermo's night in your household? Greg Matzek reminding you, Palermo's is Wisconsin's hometown pizza. 60 years of making the best tasting frozen pizza you are going to find. And they do it right here in the state of Wisconsin. You've probably driven by their headquarters, not too far from the ballpark, just off Canal Street. That's right. That's where they make Palermo's, Wisconsin's hometown pizza. That's where the Screamin' Sicilian was invented, the Connie's, the Urban Pie, neighborhood pizzeria pizza, all of the above, and more, the breakfast pizza. It's incredible. All made by Palermo's, and they've got a slice for every appetite. Stopping off at the grocery store tonight, maybe tomorrow, before the weekend. Wherever you stop, you'll find Palermo's. Pick and save. Sendix, Piggly Wiggly, Woodman's, Festival Foods, you name it. Check it out. It's Palermo's, Wisconsin's hometown pizza.
AccuNet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLSConsumerAccess.org, number 255368.
At Wisconsin's own AccuNet Mortgage, our closing costs are typically $1,000 to $3,000 less than the banks or the mortgage guys with the Rocket for exactly the same rate. Find out how much you can save at accunet.com.
When people think sleep apnea, they think CPAP. Now at Advent, we do all we can to help sleep apnea sufferers avoid the CPAP machine. And most sleep apnea sufferers who come to Advent are going to be able to avoid a CPAP altogether. Our unique Advent approach using simple in-office solutions can get your nose working and throat open all under one roof. You see, the root of every snoring and obstructive sleep apnea problem lies within the throat, nose, or both. At Advent, we know when we get the nose and throat working properly, most snoring and sleep apnea problems will subside. And we have the most simple and convenient, ultra-effective in-office solutions that can do just that. And this is why people have traveled by planes, trains, and automobiles from corners of the world you would never think of to find the sleep apnea and snoring relief you won't find elsewhere.
Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better. AdventKnows.com. Most insurance accepted.
Wrap up the first half of the season with the Brewers as they take on the Nationals July 11th through the 13th. Kick the weekend off with the Crew's annual celebration of black culture at the Negro Leagues tribute game on Friday the 11th. Then your next can't-miss giveaway arrives on Saturday the 12th when the first 25,000 fans will get a 90s throwback jersey presented by CBS 58. Grab your seats at Brewers.com.
As host of the Fix-It Show, I've talked to countless homeowners worried about musty basements, water seepage, and foundation cracks. And my answer is always the same. Call Accurate Basement Repair. They're not just Wisconsin's #1 rated foundation and waterproofing team. They deliver real peace of mind. I've recommended them for years because I know the quality of their work. And more importantly, the integrity behind it.
Wow, we're grateful for that trust, David. Every home we restore, we treat like our own. And that's what Accurate is all about.
They're not just good, they're accurate.
Beautiful day today. Chance of rain later on this evening, but by and large, you're going to love today. High of 83 degrees, a little cooler near the lake, plenty of sun. Could see some rain lingering into Friday. Otherwise, humidity a bit on the increase with a high of 85. 72 and partly sunny in Milwaukee at 12:54. And does anybody appear to have more fun in the summer than Giannis?
Oh my gosh, I just love watching what he is doing because it's so fun. He works so hard for us, right, on the Bucks, and he's so good. He's dedicated to the sport. But boom, summer comes around. I'm not saying he's still not dedicated. You know, he's working out and doing all that. But man, is he having fun?
Yeah, he goes back to his home country every year around this time. He's hanging out in Greece, and if you've seen it on social media, anywhere he goes, right, there's crowds of people, and Giannis still has that look on his face like he can't believe that many people are there jumping and screaming just to see him, right? And that's part of what I love about Giannis. Well, he's hanging out in his home country. He also made a surprise appearance on a live stream with a popular YouTuber who goes by Speed. So they're in Greece. Giannis showed him around his neighborhood and the court he dunked on for the very first time, and later a tour of Athens that concluded with dinner overlooking the Acropolis. Kind of cool.
Love it.
Giannis also spoke about his upbringing and his future in the NBA.
LA, the tax is bad. New York, tax is bad. Yeah. Hell no.
A lot of people tried to convince me to go and play there and stuff.
Oh, no. So you staying in Milwaukee?
Probably. We'll see. Probably. I love Milwaukee.
Okay, so there's a lot to parse there.
Okay, I don't know, though. I don't know. I have the little hairs on my arm are sticking up. I got little goosebumps right now. I did not love the pause. That pause was a little longer than I would have expected. And the probably. Didn't love that.
It was multiple probablys. Just, I don't know, sink your ears into it again.
Convince me to go and play there and stuff.
Oh, no. So you staying in Milwaukee?
Probably. We'll see. Probably. I love Milwaukee.
Okay, so there's a lot of probablys there. There's a we'll see, and there's an I love Milwaukee.
Yeah,
so
I did like the end note, but okay.
So here's how former, sports guy Greg analyzes Giannis's words. And keep in mind, I was there when Giannis was first introduced at Summerfest back in the day, signing autographs and enjoying his first ever smoothie, which he still thinks is the greatest thing on earth. To me, this is Giannis saying, still your move, John. Like, we still need, is this roster done? Like, Giannis is still saying, hey, look, we get, there's more work to do. You got Miles Turner. You made some moves. Some guys are coming back, but we're not done yet, right? We're not done. So I have no doubt in my mind that Giannis will return to the Bucks, but I have no doubt in my mind that he wants to be part of a championship-winning organization, which the Bucks have proven to be.
Yes and yes.
But he wants that window to stay open to win a championship. If he's on the team, that helps, no doubt. But I don't think he just believes that, okay, the roster is set, we are good to go. He wants more work to be done, and why wouldn't he? But that's okay. I did not listen to that thinking that Giannis would be asking to leave Milwaukee before this year.
No, I don't think so either, but that's not exactly what I wanted to hear.
And maybe that's not the forum for him to say, yes, absolutely. I've talked with the organization. I am coming back. I'm looking forward to it. It's a YouTuber named Speed. Right? I mean, just like, is that where you're going to break the information to the world?
Right. It almost makes you wonder if I don't know, he sounded so nonchalant, too. I was thinking, does Giannis feel like this interview on this platform is not going to go far? But then all of a sudden, here we are, airing it.
Well, I had to play it because, of course, the national folks are going to have a field day with it.
Jeez.
I still believe there's not much to see there.
In the meantime, they were having dinner, looking over at the Acropolis. That had to be hot.
That sounds nice. Oh, yeah, it's been hot in Greece.
In Athens.
Yeah.
In fact, they shut down the Acropolis for part of the day. I remember when I was there years and years ago, and I'll tell you what, I have mixed feelings about this because it was an amazing trip. And we often asked about Giannis. We'd ask like the waiters about Giannis and whatnot. But it was when they went for the championship and I wasn't here. And it still like crushes my heart to this day because I'm such a big Bucks fan.
Yeah.
But I was also over in Greece for the first time in my life. So
wow. Well, if you're going to be anywhere
you can't
else.
complain, right? But yeah, it was awesome. But it was so hot going up there, walking up there. So I was thinking that as you were saying that, looking over at that restaurant, he's at the Acropolis. They must have been sweating.
I think he's coming back. It's 12:58 news coming up.
Summer in Milwaukee is non-stop.
Festivals, live music, and fresh city vibes fill the season.
From world-famous cultural celebrations to hidden gem street fairs, every neighborhood is a stage, alive with handcrafted traditions, homegrown talent, and world-class entertainment.
Music, flavor,
culture. Whenever you visit, the Cream City is ready to celebrate. This summer, don't just visit, experience Milwaukee, the city of festivals. Learn more at visitmilwaukee.org/fest.
Siding Unlimited is truly siding and a whole lot more. I was out on our patio last night, as a matter of fact. Beautiful night, just hanging out after my daughter's softball game. And every time we're out on the patio, I'm reminded of the incredible work done by Siding Unlimited and Outdoor Living Unlimited. They're all together right there in the same building. Siding Unlimited, this family-run business. They did a wonderful job expanding our living space to the outdoors with this beautiful paver patio. Got a gas fire pit for firing up the fire on chilly fall nights, or maybe even in the winter, or a cool night in the summer. Who knows? The fire always looks great. The landscape lighting is spot on. I can control it through my phone and an app, any color under the sun. I can just circle my finger around and pick. Custom scenes, you can do that as well. It's incredible. They've expanded our living space. They've helped us with our siding, roofing, and windows over the years. They'll do the same for you as they've done for us. Incredible products, incredible installation teams, wonderful people. It's Siding Unlimited. Visit sidingunlimited.com.
WTMJ's John Mercure here for Annex Wealth Management. If you have big questions about inflation, money, and your retirement goals, join me Tuesday, July 15th with your questions as I co-host an Instant Insight webinar with Annex Wealth Management's Chief Economist, Brian Jacobson. It's July 15th at 9 a.m. It's free, but you must register. Go to WTMJ.com, click the Instant Insight Register Now button, or check out events at AnnexWealth.com. Tuesday, July 15th, 9 a.m. It's free, but you need to register.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
It's WTMJ's Brandon Snye with Leslie Smith and Craig Brogue from Wisconsin Harley-Davidson. Guys, thanks for joining me today.
Yeah, thanks.
Great to be here.
We are celebrating 122 years of Harley-Davidson. Leslie, what can you tell me about this year?
Oh, yeah. So, Homecoming Festival is almost here. We're working really hard. July 10th through the 13th is just around the corner. This is our pride and joy. We love putting on this show every year. Craig has helped out a lot with this, with having quite the connection in the music industry. But for this, he gets to sit back and enjoy and kind of give his buddies a little shout out.
Yeah, we absolutely love giving a show at Wisconsin Harley-Davidson, and that one show that makes you coming back every year. With such a huge area to work with, we have a great setting to provide options for any sound you want to hear. 2 stages, you can't go wrong. We'll have bands like Cherry Pie, Metal Men, Almighty Vinyl, King Kong, 5 Card Studs, Cole Sweat and the Brew City Horns, and that's just a few of the amazing bands we'll have on site during our 4-day Homecoming Festival.
Plus, we have over 50 exhibitors, free admission. We always like to say that again and again. Food trucks, charities, licensed apparel and parts, multiple bars, including a cigar lounge for all you cigar-loving people. We've got everything you need to hang out for the day. You won't want to miss a day.
I took my bike there last year. I pulled in. It was easy. It was fast. I checked out all the vendors. 4 days, guys, of tons of fun. 2 stages and 22 bands. Let Wisconsin Harley-Davidson fill up your summer with riding adventures. For more information, go to WISHD.com or follow them on Facebook and Instagram to get your daily updates. The website again is WISHD.com and follow them on Facebook and Instagram. It's Wisconsin Harley-Davidson in Oconomowoc, your destination dealer.
You just can't pass on Less is Glass. Find us at lessglassservice.com.
Trusted, relevant, locally owned, locally programmed. We are Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620, WTMJ Milwaukee.
I'm Greg Matzek. This is Wisconsin's Midday News for Thursday, July 10th. Your top story, bipartisanship to pass the budget.
I'm Jessica Tighe, a former public defender pleading guilty to prostitution charges.
Mostly sunny today, chance of rain late, a high of 83. Tonight, chance of rain and storms, partly cloudy, a low of 67. 72 and sunny in Milwaukee at 103. From the WTMJ Breaking Newsroom, Wisconsin's biennial budget passed with unprecedented speed and bipartisanship.
Governor Tony Evers tells WTMJ's point taken. A great deal of compromise made this budget process different.
Significantly different from the other budgets we've worked on. It was hard bargaining, and everybody took one on the chin on something.
The budget gives historic funding increases to special education and child care and supports rural health care, all while reducing taxes.
We need to do more for our public schools. We need to make sure that our university system was working well, but overall I was pleased with it.
Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
One person is dead after being hit by a car while crossing the street in Milwaukee's Lower East Side. The 62-year-old was hit near Ogden and Astor along the city's streetcar route. The pedestrian was rushed to the hospital but died. The driver remained at the scene and is cooperating with the investigation.
A former public defender in Milwaukee pleads guilty to prostitution charges. 54-year-old Travis Schwantes is accused of abusing his position and paying clients for sex. In an agreement with prosecutors, he pled guilty to one felony of falsifying paperwork as a party to the crime and 2 prostitution-related misdemeanors. 2 felony counts of misconduct in office and 1 prostitution-related felony were dropped. Several women told investigators that Schwantes paid them for sex acts, and one of them said he falsified information in order to qualify for representing her. Schwantes will be sentenced August 26th.
There are now at least 120 confirmed deaths in Texas after that catastrophic flooding on the 4th. An additional 160 people are still missing.
Kerrville Police Sergeant Jonathan Lamb with the latest numbers from Kerr County alone.
There have been 96 confirmed deaths, 60 adults and 36 children. The number of missing remains at 161.
5 girls and 1 counselor from Camp Mystic still listed as missing. Lamb says there are more than 2,100 responders on the ground from state, local, and federal agencies working to reunite victims with families. They also have a database of those willing to volunteer.
All of our basic needs are being met, both through the federal and state response and the support that we've been getting.
Chris Fox for CBS News, Austin.
Time for news about your money. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Lots of green today. The Dow is up a little under 300 points at 44,738. NASDAQ is up about 35 points today at 20,647. S&P up about 25 at 6287. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite, financial planning at every level. For details, visit annexwealth.com.
Find out what the Milwaukee Bucks are doing in Vegas today. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 1:06.
With an ever-changing inventory, you never know what great bargains you're going to be able to find at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores. It makes shopping fun because the best finds are the ones you had no idea you'd even come across. And when they're at thrift store prices, it feels good. And it feels even better to know you're helping us help others. Shop St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
Imagine that unbelievable new deck in your backyard. Outdoor Living Unlimited is Wisconsin's #1 timber tech deck builder. Building new decks and replacing old ones, creating that $1 million feeling every time you relax in your own backyard. Looking for a company to make your backyard scream wow? Stop by Outdoor Living Unlimited's resourceful Waukesha showroom and visit OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com.
Hey, boaters!
This is Dave Doro from Kendor Marine. And if you're a boater and you haven't been here, ask around. And I think some of your boater buddies will tell you you're missing out. Because at Kendor Marine, we have everything you need but the water. And when you get here, you'll know that's no exaggeration. So get in the know, because boaters in the know exactly where to go. Kendor Marine, 57th and Ryan Road in Franklin.
Hey, boaters! Cruise to Kendor Marine. We got everything you need but the water. Hey, boaters!
From fishing to water sports and everyday essentials like anchors and life jackets, along with an incredible selection of hardware, Kendor Marine is a boater's paradise. This is Dave Doro, and our endless selection of boating parts and accessories all but assure you one-stop shopping for all your boating needs. And that's why boaters in the know exactly where to go. Kendor Marine, 57th and Ryan Road in Franklin.
Hey, boaters! Cruise to Kendor Marine. We got everything you need but the water.
Time for WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports desk. It's the Brewers and Nationals. A 3-game series begins Friday at American Family Field. Milwaukee coming off that 3-game sweep of the Dodgers. Homestand resumes on Friday. Brewers reliever Trevor McGill replaces Freddie Peralta on the National League All-Star team. And the Bucks begin playing the Vegas Summer League tonight against the Denver Nuggets.
Checking out the roads with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. The crash that we had on 43 out in the Whitefish Bay area, Whitefish Bay, Fox Point, that has cleared. So good news there. I do want to let you know, though, we're kind of having just some delays because of it, because it got real slow. So I think this is going to get better. But right now, the crash is clear, but we're still seeing some backups because of it. The slowing starts a little bit after Good Hope Road. Then it gets really slow right around Silver Spring Drive. Clears up before Hampton. A couple disabled vehicles out in the system, but that's not causing any problems. We're also seeing some significant delays on 41 in our construction zone. It starts around Swan. Definitely very slow around North. through Burleigh. It starts to clear up, right before Butler. And then if you're going the other way, we're seeing some significant delays as well. This is actually the worst it's been in a while. 41 definitely slow from Good Hope Road all the way down until about Curry Park.
Beautiful day with a high of 83 degrees. Chance for rain later on tonight, but the day is lovely. Tonight, a low of 67 degrees. Chance of rain. Friday, partly cloudy, humid, a chance of thunderstorms and a high of 84. It's 72 and mostly sunny in Milwaukee at 109.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios in downtown Milwaukee, it's Wisconsin's Midday News, making stories come to life. Now, here are your hosts, Greg Matzek and Jessica Tighe.
Beautiful day for a wonderful event here, dedication event for the Lance Seijohn Memorial. John Mercure was out at that today. WTMJ listeners came to answer the call here for the dedication event, and they've arrived. They were there in droves. There was a flyover today. John Mercure was there. He's going to join us. I don't know how you just get a flyover.
It's not easy.
It doesn't seem like something
but they
you
made
just
it happen.
can order up. So it gives you an idea just how highly thought of Lance Seijohn in his career in the military was. The plane shot down in Vietnam, and he did his best to cling to life, ultimately killed by those who captured him. So John Mercure is going to join us following the event, which just wrapped up a little while ago. John will be with us here in just a couple of minutes.
And now it's time for 3 Big Things on Wisconsin's Midday News.
Number 1, the procession route now finalized for fallen Milwaukee police officer Kendall Corder. The Milwaukee Police Department just announced the procession will begin between 4 and 5 p.m. tomorrow from Elmbrook Church in Brookfield. That's where Officer Corder's funeral services are taking place tomorrow. Public visitation is from 11 to 2. The funeral starts at 2:30. After, expect police honors, then that procession from the church to the cemetery. The procession will exit the church parking lot, then take Barker to Capitol. Officer Corder is being buried at Wisconsin Memorial Park on Capitol. That burial will be private.
Well, the most valuable public company in the world is NVIDIA. The chip maker became the first public company to eclipse the $4 trillion mark during trading on Wednesday, overtaking other tech giants like Apple and Microsoft. Meteoric rise. Consider this, the company was valued at just over $1 trillion in May of 2023. 2 years later, it's over $4 trillion. NVIDIA, best known for its graphic processing units. These are used in a wide range of applications from gaming and professional visualization to AI and data centers. They provide chips and systems for data centers, chips and platforms for autonomous vehicles, and more. You understand why they're humming here. Meanwhile, just last week, Microsoft announced a major reduction in its global workforce. They cut 9,000, and investors believe it's due to artificial intelligence. They're trying to put as much money as possible toward their AI infrastructure in reducing headcount to do so.
Number 3, a major recall from Ford. A recall of thousands of vehicles that could stall and cause a crash. ABC's Chuck Sievertson.
Ford is recalling up to about 850,000 vehicles because a low-pressure fuel pump failure can lead to an engine stall, and that can increase the risk of a crash. Ford says the affected vehicles may show warning signs such as engine misfiring or running rough, check engine light coming on, or reduced engine power. The 2021 to 23 models recalled include Ford Expeditions, Mustangs, Explorers, Broncos, Lincoln Navigators, and F-150 and 250 trucks.
Separate letters will be sent to owners once the remedy is available.
1:13 on WTMJ. John Mercure is back from the Lance Seijohn Memorial Dedication event. He will join us in studio to walk us through it. How did it go? Looked like a beautiful day and a great time and a great cause. John's with us after this.
When we're out in your town, come say hi as we broadcast live from the Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin mobile studio.
Anytime you hear us when we're on the road, you can find us live from our brand new mobile studio.
Whether it be Summerfest, EAA, Opening Day, Air and Water Show, wherever we may be.
You can see us on the radio, live from the Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin mobile studio.
We are Wisconsin's radio station.
We are Wisconsin's radio station.
We are Wisconsin's radio station.
News Radio 620 WTMJ.
Doing banking differently since 1896. Greg Matzek here telling you about Horicon Bank. Horicon Bank. I've met with these people at a a branch that they had opened up just off 4145. Part of their expansion project. That's right. It used to be a restaurant, and now it's a bank. They've converted it. Very cool. Right off the freeway in that Mayfair collection, you will find one of the newest branches of Horicon Bank. Expanding, but they've not lost their community-minded approach to doing business. They've been doing it since 1896. Truly the natural choice. It's Horicon Bank. If you got a business you're looking to lift off the ground, well, there you go. Make the call. Connect with the folks at Horicon Bank. That's what they specialize in. Maybe you're just trying to get a savings account or a checking account for a loved one. They can help you with that, too. They started up in 1896, serving the community of Horicon, and they've expanded, but they've not lost their ways. It's Horicon Bank. Truly the natural choice. Member FDIC.
You're going to love the new all-you-can-eat Saturday breakfast buffet for under $10 at the Mine Shaft Restaurant in downtown Hartford. It's fantastic. From 8 a.m. till noon, kids under 3 eat free. Walk on in. It's all you can eat. MineshaftRestaurant.com.
We see you out there building a life you love, knowing that when inspiration strikes, nothing should get in your way. At Blaine's, we're here to help with everything you need to make it happen at prices that make it possible. Like Blaster Automotive Refrigerant with a reusable gauge, $24.99. 10% off assorted Hillman hardware. Rewards members save 20% on all K&N oil filters. Plus, we offer Blaine's Best Price Promise, guaranteeing you the lowest price with us or we'll match it. Blaine's Farm and Fleet. Be an original.
Gorgeous day today, a high of 83 degrees. A little cooler near the lake, some patchy clouds floating around, maybe some rain later on tonight, but the bulk of the day is just spectacular. Tomorrow we warm up a little bit, a little better chance of rain, and a high of 85. Could have some thunderstorms on Saturday. It's 72 and sunny in Milwaukee at 116. Well, an incredibly powerful community event today. John Mercure led the charge here to help raise money to refurbish the F-4C Phantom jet, the same model Captain Lance Saijan flew during the Vietnam War before he was captured and ultimately killed after crawling through the jungle for the better part of 40 days. Janine Saijan is Captain Saijan's sister. She was at the event today, and there could not have been a better day. You could not handpick a better day to unveil this newly refurbished F-4C fighter jet.
Absolutely stunning. And John is here with us now. John, how many people were out there? What was it like? I imagine it had to be emotional. I wish we could have been there, but we couldn't because of the show.
Yeah, several hundred, almost 100 from the 128th Air Refueling Wing at the airport, right there, all in uniform. Color guard, as you mentioned, bright blue skies, that new jet glistening in the sunshine as it pointed skyward near the airport. Absolutely incredible. And I learned more detail today about the plane itself. So that plane is a plane that was flown in Vietnam. It was an actual plane in Lance Saijan's squadron, and they didn't always use the same plane. They often took a different plane at different times if theirs was being repaired or needed rest. And so they think now that Lance Saijan actually likely flew in that airplane.
Wow.
And that airplane is highly decorated itself, received a lot of awards, did a lot of damage in the war to the opposition. And now that's the airplane completely refurbished, shining in the sun, and it looks absolutely great.
Well, and today's event is the culmination of months and months of preparation. And it started with a call from Janine to you, right? And how long ago was that?
It was cool. So I knew the basics of Lance Saijan's story because of my work with Honor Flight, but I didn't know Janine at all. Janine Saijan is Lance Saijan's little sister, and she called me one day, and she said, "You ever see that plane at the airport, the fighter jet?" And I said, I think so. The one on Howell. She said, it's in disrepair. It needs to be fixed. And she said, I know you care a lot about veterans stuff, and you have the platform to help me. And I said, I don't know. My hands are kind of full. My plate is kind of full, I should say. She said, well, you meet me out at the airplane. So I met her at the airplane on a cold day, and we walked around the airplane, and she cried and said, this is my brother's legacy. And she told me about his story and his life. And by the end of it, that day, that 20 minutes at the plane, I said, I'm going to help you. Let's raise the money. I know our listeners will step forward. Our listeners will be generous. And I think I can talk to leaders in our community. Let's do this because the plane is our legacy. Lance Saijan is our legacy. He's Milwaukee. He's us. And we need to honor that. And so that's how it all got started with Janine Saijan, who is tenacious, ferocious, and never takes no for an answer.
So what was it like to be out there today and to see Janine see, number one, how magnificent this looks now refurbished, but also to see all of the support?
It was amazing. It was humbling. It was when I saw people start to show up at like 8:30 in the morning for the 10:30 ceremony, and then I saw buses of military begin to show up. Then I talked to a guy who's 94 years old who with a walker came from the far reaches of the parking lot because he wanted to honor Lance Sijon. He's a World War II vet. As all that took place and I looked at Janine, she literally had tears streaming down her face. I didn't know she was going to be able to talk. And it was emotional. It was humbling. I was so proud. I was proud of our city. I was proud of our embrace of a guy who died 55 years ago, but is from our area and is a hero. I mean, you go to the Air Force Academy, they've got buildings and plazas named after him, and they still teach what he taught all of us in their classes at the Air Force Academy. They talk about honor and dignity and how to never give the opposition any information, and they talk about Lance Sijon. And he's a Milwaukee guy. So I felt proud. I knew Janine felt really, really overwhelming pride.
I'm proud of you.
Oh, that's nice of you to say
listening and understanding what this means for Janine and for our community. Everybody will see that now and understand that, boy, that looks different. If they don't know the story, they may find out why it looks different and understand a little bit more about Lance Sijon, which is really what this is all about, preserving his legacy, John.
It is, and that plane is his legacy. You know, and his legacy is our legacy. We have 2 Medal of Honor recipients here in the Milwaukee area. One is Lance Sijon. The other is Gary Wetzel, who is still alive. And it's our responsibility. Greg, I know you're passionate about military charity stuff, too, and you and I have talked about it. And, Jessica, your heart for our community, and we've all talked about it. I know this is going to sound cheesy to some people, but I think when we sit in the studio and we have these microphones, we have a responsibility not just to read the traffic and weather, but to talk about the things that matter in our community, to raise awareness, to tell the stories of the people who are heroes, the people that, you know, when I stood up at the podium today, I recognized some of the people who gave a lot of money, different corporations. And then it hit me as I was standing there, and I made sure that we thanked the people who gave $5.
Yeah.
The one kid who had his mom write a check for $7.35 because it's what he had in his piggy bank. Those are the people in our community who heard Lance's story and are inspired by what he did all those years ago.
And this story is not done because the money that our fans and partners helped raise not only went to refurbish this, but also, if I remember correctly, to maintain it. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, we raised so much money that there's money to do it again if we need to in 10 years.
And that's important because it's not always easy. I mean, you know, everybody is looking for money. You need this for this and this effort. I mean, so I think that's a big deal.
So, you know, in addition to our fans, a couple of people that I met today that were really interesting. Some guy came up to me and he said, see that cherry picker over there? That's what they used to paint the plane. My company donated that.
Wow.
And I had to come out and see what that was like. A guy from Sherwin-Williams came up to me and he said, hey, thanks for letting us contribute. And I said, yeah, thanks for helping. He said, we donated all the paint for the plane. That was several $1,000s.
Oh, love it.
And our community, individuals, corporations, and business owners all stepped up. And you are so right, because the reality is this plane will need to be done again eventually. They did some things this time that hopefully lengthens that out. It's not as quick. But when you have an airplane in Wisconsin that's outside and the sun's beating on it like on a hot day in July, and then 6 months later it's snow and ice, it's hard. And the only way not to ever have to refurbish it would be to put it inside in a hangar, and we're not going to do that. So raising the extra money is really, really important because it's going to be needed down the road.
Another amazing component to this story is the crew, and I use that term lightly because it was just a couple of people, who are a husband and wife team from Florida that come up to do all the work. You'd think that this big company would come in, and so no, we can do it. It's a couple of neighbors who live in Florida who flew into Wisconsin to do this.
Yeah, I don't know their age, but I'd say they're 60-ish, and it's a husband and wife team, and they travel the country. They're the best in the world, literally, at restoring
it's incredible
aircraft. And there's 2 of them, and they spent a month here, up and down in the cherry picker, on the ground. 2 of them. They scrubbed the plane, they repaired the plane, they painted the plane, and now they're off to do a project in Madison, and then later on this year, they're at the Smithsonian doing a plane. That's how renowned they are.
So cool.
Wow.
And Janine Sijon and her tenacity was able to get them to come here to Milwaukee.
You know what else she got to? A fighter check, a flyover. I mean,
Yes.
that's not an easy thing to do, number one, anywhere, but 2, this is at the airport.
You're right. So we planned this event only 2 weeks ago. We couldn't plan it too far ahead of time because we weren't sure when the painting would be done. So when we knew firmly, we planned it with 2 weeks' notice, the whole thing. And Janine said, I'm going to get a flyover. And everybody at the airport laughed at her. Everybody at the Pentagon said it's not going to happen. Most local connections said, Janine, that's impossible. And in several evenings when her and I would talk, most evenings, she said, I got another no, but I'm keeping going. Someone said we can't do it, but I'm not taking no for an answer. And just a couple of days ago, she got a yes after fiercely asking over and over and over. And you're right, it's at the airport. So if this had been in Key Waskom, in the middle of nowhere, it would have been really hard. But at the airport, it's a completely different level.
Yeah.
They had to hold things at the airport.
Wow.
Not for very long, but so that we could have this incredible F-16 from Duluth fly over. And when that thing roared overhead, and by the way, it roared overhead at the very end of God Bless the USA was playing through the speaker system. It was stunning, incredible, noisy up top, quiet on the ground. It was really, really cool.
Wow. Well, and if people want to drive by and take a look at this thing, they can see it right off Howell Avenue, right?
5500 South Howell. So the airport spur we all take from the interstate to get to the airport. You take that spur, and usually you stay kind of to the left, and you go to the terminals to drop off or pick up. If you stay to the right, there's an exit for Howell. It's right near the airport. You take that exit, and at the bottom of that exit on Howell Avenue at the airport, off to your right is Lance Sijon Plaza and the plane.
Amazing, amazing work. Thank you for taking this mission on yourself. Thanks to Janine for her fierce fighting for her older brother. And thank you to all of our fans and listeners who had anything to do with this, right? I mean, just anything. If you were out there today, if you donated, if you were a part of this in any way, even if this story touches you and you feel like kind of sharing who Lance Sijon was at the dinner table tonight, you're doing the good work here.
Take your kids out there. When you're tooling around, just swing by there. There's a little parking lot, and Lance's story is told on a granite stone there. So check it out. Share it with your kids. Thanks for supporting us through the whole way, you guys. I really appreciate it.
Incredible work. Thank you, John. Appreciate it. Much more on that incredible dedication at Wisconsin's Afternoon News later this afternoon at 3. News coming up.
Get the help you need Saturday morning with How To Radio. At 7, it's the WTMJ Fix-It Show with David Nason, featuring this week's guests, Accurate Basement Repair and Capital Heating and Cooling. At 9, plan your dream vacation with the Fox World Travel Show. At 10, get financial guidance during Money Talk. Contact Annex Wealth Management for an unbiased review of your investments at annexwealth.com. How To Radio, Saturday mornings on WTMJ.
I know you have a great dog, right? But you know there's room for improvement. At Sit Means Sit Dog Training, we can help. Our attention-based training system uses modern technology to help you better communicate with your dog, even in high distraction. When you schedule a free consultation with us, you will have the opportunity to see our training in action and meet for yourself our happy dogs off leash and under control. Contact Sit Means Sit today at 262-361-3641 or find us on the web at sitmeanssitwaukesha.com to schedule your free consultation so you can have a happy, confident, and obedient dog.
The open road is calling your name. The ride begins at Potawatomi Casino Hotel in Milwaukee. Greg Matzek here. Let me tell you about this. Pretty cool stuff here. The rest of the month, you could burn some major rubber on the custom Harley-Davidson of your dreams. They've got the Fire Up Your Fantasy motorcycle giveaway going on right now at Potawatomi. All month long. Play with your rewards card for entries. Thursday drawings for extra cash and reward play. You can fire up your fantasy. You can only do it at Potawatomi. Must be 21 years or older and a rewards member to play. More info available online. If you've not been to Potawatomi in a minute, you got to stop by. See all that's new. It's different. It's just different. They've sunk a lot of money into it. It is top line of everything from gaming to the beautiful sports book and that 2,000 square foot video wall. The food is fantastic. You'll love it. You'll have a great time at Potawatomi Casino Hotel in Milwaukee.
It's worth $100 now to save thousands later. Vince Vitrano for Urban Heating and Cooling. Family-owned business. Ryan and his wife, Ellie. I had Ryan out to the Vitrano house for an AC tune-up. Cleaned out all the coils, checked for any issues that could cause breakdowns, set up my air conditioner to run more efficiently all summer. This service available in your home for just $99 plus tax, saving on your electric bills, helping prevent more costly repairs down the road. Tell them Vinny sent you when you call. UrbanHeatingandCooling.com.
Why'd I go to the doctor? One day at the firehouse, I was so lightheaded I could barely stand. Even my crew noticed. Getting checked out was the right call. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit NoTimeToWait.com. Sponsored by Bristol Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Hey, Tinsley, why don't we use EasyCater to order food for staff lunches?
Because my 46-page acronym system is so easy. I just have to salad, stay alert to late arriving deliveries, pie, put in expenses, and Google Pie. Go out and get everyone's preferences and allergy information.
That's supposed to be simple?
No, simple is Steve and Irma and Margie prefer lasagna and empanadas.
OMG.
No need to make work life more complicated. Just use EasyCater, the easy way to get food for work.
WTMJ's John Mercure here. If you're trying to make sense of the economy and where we're headed, Thursday, July 3rd, you need to check out a webinar I'm co-hosting with Annex Wealth Management Chief Economist Brian Jacobson. Thursday, July 3rd, 9 a.m., you'll get instant insight just after the jobs report is released. We'll provide instant analysis on the employment picture, answer your questions, and explain what it all means. Visit WTMJ.com, click the Instant Insight Register Now button, or check out events at annexwealth.com. Thursday, July 3rd at 9 a.m. It's free. Register today.
It's 1:30. I'm Greg Matzek. This is Wisconsin's Midday for Thursday, July 10th. Your top story, a bus strike is coming.
I'm Jessica Tighe, a Milwaukee woman facing felonies for making threats at a local grocery store.
Beautiful day today, up to 83 degrees. Chance for rain later on. Some lingering showers possibly in the morning. It's currently 72 in Milwaukee.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. In Texas, the death toll climbing once again with 120 deaths blamed on the catastrophic flooding last week. 96 of them in hard-hit Kerr County are missing. Lauren Tyler was on vacation in Hunt, Texas when the flash flooding came rushing through. She and her family, though, were on higher ground. She still spoke about the trauma of the floods.
We saw mattresses 30 feet up in trees. We saw the American flag everywhere because it was the 4th of July. We were all celebrating.
Tyler has now written a song about the event. President Trump vowing to impose 50% tariffs on copper imports starting August 1st. It would match tariffs already on steel and aluminum imports. The president wants to boost copper production, he says, in the U.S. Analysts say that could take years. Svetlana Dali, the woman convicted of being a stowaway on a JFK to Paris flight in 2024, sentenced today to time served or 7 months. A Brooklyn judge agreed with prosecutors' recommendation that Dali had served time warranted for the crime. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time is 1:31. Discussions between the Milwaukee County Transit System and the union representing its bus drivers and mechanics resumed today after the union voted to authorize a strike on Wednesday, as MCTS cites fare evasion as a root cause of a nearly $11 million budget deficit. ATU Local 998 Vice President Michael Brown tells WTMJ.
Negative vibe about the company because a lot of stuff is going on within the company. You know, like the fare box. We still got small issues about security. And so we just want to get something done, and it seems like we're not getting anything done with MCTS.
Contract negotiations between the two sides have been ongoing since October. A temporary contract will keep buses on the roads through the end of July.
A Milwaukee woman is charged with stealing from a grocery store and making bomb threats. 49-year-old Andrea Cloud Jones faces 2 felonies for taking items from the Pick and Save store near 84th and Blue Mound on the 4th of July. The store manager says the manager found her putting food and alcohol in her bag, then trying to walk out without paying. When confronted, Cloud Jones said she was an FBI agent and had placed a bomb in the store. She was later arrested at a nearby Starbucks.
Boosting nuclear power in Wisconsin. Governor Tony Evers signed 2 bipartisan bills. One allocates $2 million for a study to identify the best site for a nuclear fusion power plant. UW-Madison professor of nuclear engineering Paul Wilson tells WTMJ.
The technology has certainly changed since the plants that we built, back before I was born. And so we're looking at a variety of different technologies, some of them similar to what we've done before. Maybe that'll be the fastest way forward. And some of them are smaller, and some of them use newer technologies, aiming to be more efficient and have a wider array of uses.
Lawmakers who advocated for the measures say they hope to make Wisconsin the Silicon Valley for nuclear power development.
Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy, a former Wisconsin congressman, will serve as the interim administrator of NASA. President Trump made the announcement last night. The role had been vacant since the president withdrew his initial nominee. Duffy is a former reality television star and represented Wisconsin's 7th congressional district from 2011 to 2019.
Honoring one of Milwaukee's fallen heroes, Bayview captain and native Lance Sijan served in Vietnam and died as a prisoner of war in 1968. WTMJ listeners raised over $80,000 to refurbish the F-4C Phantom jet near the airport, similar to the one that Sijan flew in combat. Colonel Charles Merkel of the 128th Air Refueling Wing.
The community needs to hear the story, so it takes a big push by somebody with a voice like John, who's got a big reach to let the community know what's going on and to drum up that support. So it shows that the community was willing to dig in and get this done.
The rededication ceremony featured full military honors with a 21-gun salute and an F-16 flyover.
Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 1:34.
Vince Vitrano here for Connect Chiropractic. Get your aches and pains under control. But not only that, regular care with Connect Chiro can bring back your energy. A lot of folks start with headaches, back pain, and shoulder pain. How quickly you see results varies from person to person, but time and repetition are the key to staying on track. No twisting, no cracking, no popping. Connect Chiro docs use a special tool for all your adjustments, targeted results, and a gentler experience. Check out the new location in Oak Creek or get started at GoConnectChiro.com.
As host of the Fix-It Show, I've talked to countless homeowners worried about musty basements, water seepage, and foundation cracks. And my answer is always the same. Call Accurate Basement Repair. They're not just Wisconsin's #1 rated foundation and waterproofing team. They deliver real peace of mind. I've recommended them for years because I know the quality of their work. And more importantly, the integrity behind it.
Wow, we're grateful for that trust, David. Every home we restore, we treat like our own. And that's what Accurate is all about.
They're not just good, they're accurate.
Is that knee, hip, or shoulder pain not getting any better? Are you stuck in a cycle of steroid shots and now they're talking surgery? Before you go down that road, hit pause for a second. Hey, it's WTMJ's Steve Scafidi. I want to tell you about something that helped a lot of people get their lives back without more meds, without going under the knife. It's QC Kinetics, leaders in regenerative medicine using treatments like advanced cellular therapy and platelet-rich plasma, all designed to actually help your body heal itself. I'm undergoing treatments right now. No masking the pain. It goes to the root of your problem. Their treatments contain growth factors and healing properties to maximize your own body's potential to heal itself. This is an important part. 92% of patients report satisfaction with the results. That's not just a number. It's peace of mind. It doesn't cost anything for a second opinion. Here's what you need to do. For real results that help let you move easier and live better, call QC Kinetics today at 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. Real results that will make you move easier and live better. That's QC Kinetics.
Hi, Sandy Max here to tell you about an incredible event at a new community at Three Pillars in Lake Country. It's the grand opening of their active adult community, The Fields at Three Pillars, and I'll be there live Friday, July 11th to help celebrate. Nestled along the Bark River, The Fields is a neighborhood-style community unlike anything in Wisconsin, with 110 residences and amenities like a spa, supper club, art studio, pub, dog park, pickleball, and more. It's already one of the most sought-after senior communities in the state. Learn more about The Fields at threepillars.org.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. The Brewers enjoy a day off following a 3-game sweep of the Dodgers. Newly acquired first baseman Andrew Vaughn hit a 3-run homer in his first plate appearance as a Brewer. He also drove in the game-tying run in the 9th inning on Wednesday.
He's a really humble kid, and he's been through a lot, and for him to go down to AAA after what he's done, even as a big leaguer in his career, and then come back up and help us, to be able to come through for him, I'm most excited for him more than anybody else, for sure.
Brewers GM Matt Arnold. The homestand resumes Friday night with Game 1 of a 3-game series against the Nationals. Brewers reliever Trevor McGill replaces Freddie Peralta on the National League All-Star team, and the Bucks begin play in the Vegas Summer League tonight against the Denver Nuggets.
Let's get you an update on the roads with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. I do have a good update. Still seeing a little bit of a backup, but the accident that we were reporting on 43 out in the Whitefish Bay area, that has cleared. And last time we checked, it was gone, but there were still some significant delays. There are delays still, but it's yellow. In a nutshell, it's way better than red. It's slow, but it's not super slow. So we've got progress, everybody, progress. Also, 41, we're seeing the typical delays due to the construction work out there right around the Mayfair area. Nothing new, just the construction causing issues.
I think the general term for a day like today is Chamber of Commerce Day. Isn't that what they say?
Yes, they do say that. I've never used that, though, in my personal life.
Yeah.
Never.
No.
But somebody said it once, and now some people use it.
Okay, well, I guess it just means that it's a nice day. It's a beautiful day.
Stunning.
It's a gorgeous day. With some potential for rain. TMJ4, Brendan Johnson. Not to be a wet blanket on anything, Brendan, but there is some rain. I see it on the forecast. I don't really see it on the radar. So what are we looking at?
Yeah. So right now it is completely dry across southeast Wisconsin, guys.
Chamber of Commerce weather, the dew point's got to be a little bit lower for me to consider it, but I get everybody's different. But we do have some scattered showers, storms that will start to enter into the region late tonight. We might have a couple pop-ups around 5 or 6 o'clock far west. Things look a little bit more scattered and widespread, really well after sunset. And we may have some rain linger into tomorrow morning. And this is the first of a couple waves of rain we're expecting as we transition into the weekend.
I am looking at those rain chances and the storm chances, and I'm curious about the timing on all of that because we've got a lot of people coming into town for the Harley-Davidson Festival, for the homecoming festivities. Not only that, but also just down along the lake at the park. It's always nice when it's sunny and no rain because you have the storms, you have the rain, and everything gets a little muddy.
Yeah, exactly. And, we've at least been able to stave off the rain so far. So, things are dry. But yeah, as soon as you get those heavy downpours with as humid as it has been, you get a lot of rain in a short amount of time. Now, today, I think we could get most of the day in without having to deal with any rain in Milwaukee. Again, most of that rain starts to come in after sunset. So if you do have plans to be out, 9, 10 o'clock tonight, beyond, likely going to have some rain to contend with, especially near and south of 94. Heading into Friday morning, might have some of that lingering rain. We get a bit of a break, and then during the afternoon, we're going to watch some scattered showers and storms move across northern Illinois, kind of flirting with the state line a bit. We're watching that very carefully for tomorrow. There's a better severe weather risk, a slight risk down across northern Illinois. Some of that could scoot by maybe Walworth and Kenosha counties. And then that's out of here. We get another round late morning Saturday into the early afternoon. So it's really 3 areas, guys, 3 chances of rain that we're watching out for. But yeah, it strikes right in the heart of everybody wanting to be out and about.
Yeah, so these are not all-day soakers primarily, right? But they will pop up and they'll impact what you're doing for a moment in time and then likely be gone?
Yeah, so we're not expecting complete washouts throughout this weekend. Tonight, mainly everybody's going to be asleep when the rain comes. Tomorrow, we'll get, during the late morning, early afternoon, some really good dry time around Milwaukee. But as we get into maybe 2, 3, 4 o'clock, we're going to be watching the radar to see where these showers and storms are. They likely will be farther south of Milwaukee. And then into Saturday, that looks a little bit more rainy for just about everybody. Late morning and into the middle of the afternoon as our frontal system, which is finally going to clear all this out, moves on through. So if I was really concerned about outdoor plans as of right now, it would be late morning, early afternoon on Saturday. That's when I think, a lot of folks will be out, but we're watching for some showers and thunderstorms. No widespread severe weather expected with any of this, guys, but strongest storms could contain, of course, lightning, thunder, maybe some small hail, as well as some gusty winds.
Hey, Brendan, real quick, what can you tell us about the buck moon? I feel like that's it's so appropriate for Milwaukee.
Saw that last night.
Right? I literally was trying to tag him on social media. I'm like, this is the moon for you. Officially full at 3:36 this afternoon. Of course, we won't see it. It's on the other side of the planet. But yeah, named for the bucks at this time of year that grow antlers. So that is why Native American tribes used to they named all the moons of the year. And this is also part of the Old Farmer's Almanac as well. But that's why July's full moon is known as the buck moon. It's also known as the hay moon and the thunder moon. So last night, really good chance to see it. Tonight, I think with some cloud cover around, it might be a little bit tougher. But
it was amazing. It's amazing at the different levels with which the moon sort of hovers, right? It almost felt like it was, kind of on the horizon. We were doing a little pickleball in the driveway last night.
Nice.
The 10 and the 8-year-old dominated mom and dad, but that's a different story. But just looking off into the distance, this massive, glowing, beautiful moon was sort of just sitting at horizon height. It was beautiful, Brendan.
Yeah, around 8:15 last night it was rising, and then it gets about maybe 30 or so degrees in the sky above the horizon. But yeah, it is a sight to see, and I know it happens, every 28 days, but I don't know. There's just something special about it. So when it happens, we like to call attention to it. And can't tell you, we got a lot of folks that submit photos into the weather office because it really is cool to look at in the middle of the night sky.
Yeah. Awesome to capture.
No doubt.
Good stuff.
Appreciate it, Brendan. We'll check in again soon.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Sounds good. Thank you.
1:43 on WTMJ, our weekly wellness check with Dr. Ben Weston after this.
Veterans, have you explored your benefits lately? The Wisconsin Department of Veterans Affairs stands ready to serve Wisconsin veterans, their families, and their survivors. With our partners like your local county veteran service officer, we can help access the benefits you've earned and the support you need. For more information, please visit wisvets.com. That's wisvets.com. Message sponsored by the Wisconsin Department of Veterans Affairs.
For 70 years, Geis has been the trusted garage authority in the state of Wisconsin. Greg Matzek here reminding you not to let that busted garage door get you down. Do what I did. Make a call to Geis. In fact, our door wasn't busted. Our opener's fine, but we had an issue with the weather stripping. Yeah, the stripping going around the perimeter of our garage door, no problem. Made a phone call to Geis. They were out within a couple of days, had it fixed in a matter of about an hour or so, and we were back in the game. You might have a bigger issue. CHI and LiftMaster could be exactly what you're looking for here. Doors and openers for every budget. They've got them for you at Geis. They can even go custom if that's what your project requires. Why would you trust anyone else? It's Geis for swift and reliable garage repair solutions. Visit GeisDoors.com, a trusted name in the business for 70 years. Stop by the showroom in Brookfield just off Barker Road. Don't think twice. Call Geis.
Get started with your no-hassle refi checkup by clicking on the blue button at Accunet.com.
Hey, boaters! From fishing to water sports and everyday essentials like anchors and life jackets, along with an incredible selection of hardware, Kendall Marine is a boater's paradise. This is Dave Doro, and our endless selection of boating parts and accessories all but assure you one-stop shopping for all your boating needs. And that's why boaters in the know exactly where to go. Kendall Marine, 57th and Ryan Road in Franklin. Hey, boaters! Cruise to Kendall Marine, we got everything you need but the water. Hey, boaters! This is Dave Doro from Kendall Marine. And if you're a boater and you haven't been here, ask around. And I think some of your boater buddies will tell you you're missing out. Because at Kendall Marine, we have everything you need but the water. And when you get here, you'll know that's no exaggeration. So get in the know, because boaters in the know exactly where to go. Kendall Marine, 57th and Ryan Road in Franklin. Hey, boaters! Cruise to Kendall Marine, we got everything you need but the water.
Without an Advent clinic nearby, people suffering needlessly from chronic nasal congestion and sinus infections would be stuck with either Band-Aid or Sledgehammer solutions. Band-Aids are pills or nasal sprays, and they're not true solutions. Surgery is a sledgehammer, and that's what we're trying to avoid. Because most people don't need surgery for nose and sinus issues, nor do they want a 14-day recovery. Our unique Advent approach can, in 20 minutes in our office, open your blocked nose for good, with only 1 day recovery. I'm Advent founder Dr. Kandula. Outside of Advent's four walls, invasive surgery is what they'll recommend. But here you will find effective and convenient in-office solutions to help you stop the need for Band-Aids and avoid the sledgehammer.
Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better. Most insurance accepted.
Doctor, give me the news. I got a bad case of loving you. No pills.
Time for our weekly wellness check. Always a good chance to check in with the good doc. Dr. Ben Weston, Medical College of Wisconsin, Chief Health Policy Advisor for Milwaukee County. Dr. Weston, happy Thursday.
Good afternoon. Happy Thursday.
Yeah, great to have you on here. So I've seen this in the news here recently, a common preservative used in some flu vaccines. Back in the headlines, what is it? Are there recommendations to phase it out?
Yeah, so we're talking about thimerosal. You'll see it in the news. So this is a mercury-based preservative. It's been used in vaccines since the 1930s. We're talking almost 100 years. And its primary role is to prevent contamination, especially in multi-dose vials. So this means the same vial is accessed multiple times for multiple patients. Not an uncommon thing, but without a preservative like thimerosal, you could imagine bacteria or funguses could enter the vial and cause people to become sick. Now, it's especially useful in settings like large clinics, community vaccination drives, where multiple doses are needed quickly and efficiently. But to be honest, as most vaccines have been developed into single-dose pre-filled syringes, become a little less common, a little less relevant. And in fact, today, nearly 94% of flu shots are already thimerosal-free.
Are there any known health risks, especially for kids and pregnant individuals?
Yeah, so there's some important details here. They're a bit nuanced, but thimerosal contains something called ethyl mercury, which is different from what we typically think about, which is methyl mercury. Now, the difference is that one accumulates in the body, methyl mercury, where the ethyl mercury, what thimerosal is cleared quickly. It doesn't build up in the bloodstream. And there's been multiple large-scale studies over decades that have consistently shown no evidence that thimerosal in vaccine causes harm. And just to be clear, it doesn't cause autism, it doesn't cause neurodevelopmental issues, it doesn't cause delays in cognitive function. But it was removed from almost all childhood vaccines back in 2001, just as a precaution. But since that time, we know that autism rates have continued to rise, which scientists say is more due to better diagnosis and broader definitions, and certainly not anything to do with vaccines.
And Dr. Weston, I'm sure you've been kind of clued into everything happening in central Texas, just deadly and devastating flooding rolling through that area. And really, flooding it's getting more dangerous. It appears to be becoming a little more common. What is contributing to this? The more frequent and severe flooding that we're seeing, not just in Texas, but nationwide, worldwide?
Right. So it comes down to how much moisture can be held in what we're seeing as a warming atmosphere. And as global temperatures rise, storms are becoming stronger and more intense because they're holding and also dumping more water. So in Texas, for example, the heaviest rainstorms now drop 20% more rain than they did back in the 1950s because of that warmer air. And it's a trend that's not limited just to Texas or the Gulf Coast. We're seeing it in the Midwest and Appalachia, the Northeast, really all over. And these storms, fast, they dump inches of rain in a very short period and leave very little time to prepare.
So what can our local communities do to adapt to these rising flood risks?
Yeah, so one of the biggest challenges is that many communities are planning their roads, their flood systems using rainfall data that's decades old. And that means the infrastructure just isn't built to handle today's storm with that much more moisture and rain in it, let alone what's coming years down the road. So cities really need to use updated flood maps, modern stormwater systems, and building codes to reflect current as well as future risks and hazards.
And it could happen here in Wisconsin, too, right? There's plenty of low-lying areas across southeastern Wisconsin that you could find yourself in a bad situation. How can families in this state, Dr. Weston, prepare for the possibility of flooding? Because we know it can happen very, very quickly.
Yeah, I mean, heavy rains are certainly becoming more frequent here in Wisconsin. We've seen road closures, basement floodings, overwhelmed drainage systems from storms that drop 4 to 6 inches of rain in a day, which is a lot. Now, the best thing for families to do to prepare is to be ready in advance. So that means three things. It means knowing your risk. So check if your home, your school, your workplace is in a flood-prone area. If so, be ready to act. Pack an emergency kit. Have a family communication plan in case people are separated, and know alternate routes in case roads are blocked or washed out. And then never underestimate floodwaters, especially if you're in a zone that is at risk for flooding. It only takes a foot of water to sweep a car away. And standing water can hide dangerous debris, sewage, even live power lines. So it's important to remember flooding can occur quickly, and even a little bit of planning can make a big difference to keep yourself and your family safe.
Oh, and we saw down in Texas just how quickly. That was unbelievable. Dr. Weston,
Absolutely.
I'm looking at the weather here, 74 degrees. You've got sunny skies, a few clouds out there. Just seems perfect, like a perfect day for a bike ride. Not too hot. It looks good. So many people are jumping on their bikes right now in the summertime. I know a lot of people are taking bubblers, too, to the Summerfest grounds. And you've got the Harley-Davidson festivities going on this weekend. Wisconsin's latest crash data shows key patterns in how and why bike accidents happen, and most are preventable. So as we see so many people jumping on their bikes right now, what are the most common causes of bike crashes in our state, and what can riders do to prevent them?
Yeah, so in Wisconsin, a lot of bike crashes happen for the same sort of reasons year after year. A lot of that is with bikes and cars. So drivers turning left across a cyclist path, or riders going against traffic or hitting a car door when it swings open. So here's a few tips to stay safe. Number one, ride in a straight line and stay visible. Don't weave in between a bunch of parked cars. That's asking for trouble. Number two, wear a helmet. Wear a helmet all the time. Make sure it's buckled underneath. A helmet with those straps hanging down unbuckled doesn't really do you much good. Head injuries are by far the most serious and often preventable cause of injuries from a bike that we see. and then use lights at night. We're talking a white headline in the front, a red light in the back, and that can greatly improve your visibility to other drivers, even on these summer nights when it's just starting to get a little bit dark outside, but not quite dark. Those lights are still important. And if you're wondering where those crashes are happening, our Milwaukee County Motor Vehicle Collision Dashboard, you can just look it up online. It maps all of them out on detail. It's a great tool for identifying where in your community are the high-risk intersections or roads where you want to take extra caution.
Yeah, I think when I was a kid, Dr. Weston, I would ride my bike to a friend's house. I would ride down Calhoun Road. Not that you could fly down that street, but there wasn't much of a sidewalk or any sidewalk at that point. You were literally on the side of the road. It was two-lane traffic, and nobody wore a helmet. That was a product of the 80s, right? Helmets, who needed that? Only if you were on that 10-speed, as a true cyclist did you need a helmet. That has become a non-negotiable. I'm not sure exactly when, but that has become a non-negotiable.
You're right. Times have certainly changed. I think a helmet is an absolute must, whether you're riding just a couple blocks away or going for a 20-mile bike ride.
Let's talk, too, a little bit about the key rules for sharing the road and when bikers can be out there, because I think a lot of times people don't really understand the rules. I know the one thing I always think about is just let somebody know if you're passing by on the trail. On the left, but sometimes that confuses people. You ring the bell, what's the best advice here?
Yeah, in Wisconsin, we got to remember bikes are legally considered vehicles. So they're allowed on most roads just like cars. But that means a few things. Cyclists should stay to the right side of the road. They should go in the same direction as traffic, not against traffic. And they should obey traffic signals just like a car. Now, sidewalk riding is generally discouraged, a little bit different for little kids, of course. But if there is a bike lane, cyclists want to use it. And then it's important to remember drivers also have responsibilities. They need to give cyclists at least 3 feet of space when passing. You need to be extra alert for them in crosswalks or in turning. And remember, if there is not a bike lane, the biker has the right to use the shoulder or even the whole right lane if they're trying to move at near traffic speed.
Great reminder is always a good way to check in with our favorite doctor. It's Dr. Ben Weston, Medical College of Wisconsin, Chief Health Policy Advisor for Milwaukee County. Dr. Weston, always great to catch up. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Dr. Weston.
Take care. We'll talk to you soon.
You too. It's 1:56 on WTMJ. 2 o'clock. Headlines coming up.
On your left.
WTMJ's John Mercure here for Annex Wealth Management. If you have big questions about inflation, money, and your retirement goals, join me Tuesday, July 15th with your questions as I co-host an Instant Insight webinar with Annex Wealth Management's Chief Economist, Brian Jacobson. It's July 15th at 9 a.m. It's free, but you must register. Go to WTMJ.com, click the Instant Insight Register Now button, or check out events at AnnexWealth.com. Tuesday, July 15th, 9 a.m. It's free, but you need to register.
For over a century, local broadcasting has evolved with the needs of the community. We move past the stigmas of opinion journalism and bring the most relevant news online, on air, and on the go. You have trusted us with your news, sports, weather, and entertainment. Trust us to keep moving with you. Text radio to 52886 and tell Congress local broadcasting is here to stay.
Staying active, essential for overall health. Proper medical support, essential for staying active. WTMJ's Vince Vitrano for Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Whether it's keeping a weekend warrior like me on the tennis court or keeping young athletes in the game, you want the best in sports medicine, that's OAW. Surgeons, nurses, and physical therapists help you recover from injury, avoid injury in the future, and enhance performance. Get care 7 days a week. Walk right in at an Ortho ASAP clinic or book an appointment online at orthowisconsin.com.
When it rains, it pours. But sometimes it hails. Or worse.
That tornado warning again is for Fond du Lac and Dodge County. We also have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect right now.
Keep us within reach for Fleet Farm Storm Team alerts.
Even if a tornado does not touch down, we know that there are powerful straight line winds.
On 620 WTMJ and WTMJ.com. WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee. From the Annex Wealth Management Studios, this is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Hi, I'm Tony Drake from Drake & Associates. One of the biggest questions retirees face is, when should I take Social Security? Should you claim it earlier for a smaller check or wait for a bigger payout? The wrong move could cost you thousands over the course of your retirement. And here's something most people don't realize. Social Security is only one piece of your income puzzle. If you don't coordinate it with your other retirement assets, you could pay more in taxes or even reduce your benefits without meaning to. At Drake & Associates, we help hardworking Americans like you make sense of their Social Security options so you can keep more of what you've earned. This isn't just about picking an age. It's about having a strategy so your retirement income lasts. That's why I want to send you a free retirement toolkit along with a copy of my book, Get Retirement Ready. Inside, you'll find easy-to-understand strategies to help you maximize Social Security, lower taxes, and build a reliable income plan. Text SS to 414-897-9522 to claim your free copies while supplies last. If you're unsure about your Social Security options, don't wait. This is your chance to get clarity and confidence about your retirement income. Text SS to 414-897-9522. Secure your future today. Text SS to 414-897-9522. Drake & Associates, helping you retire with confidence.
Drake & Associates LLC is an independent investment advisory firm that offers a variety of different investment vehicles. This commercial is provided for informational purposes only and should not be construed as individual investment advice. Drake & Associates LLC does not provide legal or tax advice. Past performance is not indicative of future performance.
The place you want to go, Lynch McWanago.
Nobody sells for less than Lynch.
Your trusted and relevant source for news, sports, traffic, and weather. We are Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
It's 2 o'clock. I'm Greg Matzek. This is Wisconsin's Midday News for Thursday, July 10th. Your top story, making the case for increased tuition.
I'm Jessica Tighe. A new challenge to Wisconsin's congressional maps.
Chance of rain tonight, low of 67 degrees. Pretty much a nice day, high of 83. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, humid, chance of thunderstorms and a high of 84. 76 and partly sunny in Milwaukee at 201. From the WTMJ Breaking Newsroom, tuition at universities of Wisconsin schools for undergraduate residents could increase by 4%, with individual campuses able to add an optional additional 1%. UW System President Jay Rothman says the increase would allow universities to continue providing services while staying cost competitive.
I think the tuition proposals that are being recommended to this board strike the right balance between state funding and tuition so that we can ensure that Wisconsin provides the quality that our students deserve, but that we also do so at an affordable level.
Under the recently approved state budget, the UW system would receive a funding increase of about $256 million.
The Wisconsin State Patrol Bureau Director and his wife are dead after a shooting in their own home.
David and Teresa Pabst were found dead in their Middleton home Tuesday morning by a family member. Authorities determined their son, 25-year-old James Pabst, shot the two and then fled the scene. Pabst was later approached by deputies on Highway 14 near Viroqua in Vernon County. After an hour without a response to commands, law enforcement approached the car and determined Pabst had died by suicide. The Dane County Executive's office says the gun used in the shooting was legally purchased. Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
Another challenge to Wisconsin's congressional district maps.
A new lawsuit filed Tuesday by the Wisconsin Business Leaders for Democracy argues the maps stifle electoral competition. The lawsuit comes 2 weeks after the state Supreme Court refused to hear two similar redistricting cases. Republicans hold 6 of Wisconsin's 8 U.S. House seats, but only 2 of the GOP districts are considered competitive. Wisconsin Democrats held a 5-3 advantage in 2010 before Republicans redrew the congressional maps. Neil Doyle, WTMJ News.
A New Hampshire judge issues an injunction that blocks President Trump's executive order on birthright citizenship.
The federal judge certified a class action lawsuit that includes all children affected by the executive order, ruling it violates the Constitution. Legal analyst Lori Levinson.
We have a federal judge saying that it would impose irreparable harm because American citizenship is the greatest privilege that exists in the world.
President Trump's order would abolish citizenship for children born in the U.S. to parents in the country illegally or temporarily. The judge allowed a week-long period considered for appeals. Wendy Gillette, CBS News.
Time for news about your money. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Everything in the green this afternoon, with the Dow surging up 260 points at 44,717. NASDAQ up about 40 today at 20,650. S&P 500 up about 25 at 6285. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Financial planning at every level. For details, visit annexwealth.com.
Our B-ball boys. Greg's looking at me like, what? You know, usually I'm just ad-libbing these teases. 99% of the time they work. Sometimes, like that time, they don't. Our B-ball boys.
That's
the
not easy.
Bucks. They're going to be in Sin City tonight. We're going to tell you why coming up. Sports, traffic, and weather right after this. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time is 2:04.
It's been over 2 years since Bobby Carpenter had regenerative treatments at QC Kinetics. He needed relief from knee pain, but he wanted to avoid surgery.
I thought I might have to have my knee scoped, had some injuries, some lingering pain from stuff that I had been dealing with from years of playing professional football and things that kind of flared up again. I started talking to a friend of mine who's orthopedic, and he was like, well, try to avoid surgery if you can.
And you absolutely can avoid surgery. QC Kinetics provides patients with state-of-the-art regenerative treatments, orthobiologics from your own body that help heal and restore damaged, aching joints. And we'll let Bobby tell you about that.
It was all of a sudden that one day, a couple months later, I was here, let's go jog, let's try to see what I could do. And the more I did, I was pain-free with it, and it was actually a pretty remarkable process.
Before going under the knife, see if you're a candidate for non-surgical joint pain treatments at QC Kinetics. Call them today.
Call QC Kinetics, 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474.
Looking for new floors but tired of the pushy sales pitch? Vince Vitrano here recommending Hunt's Flooring in Greenfield, local family-run business where the team treats you like a neighbor, not a number. It was actually one of my neighbors who recommended Hunt's to me. No pressure, no gimmicks, just honest advice, beautiful flooring, and help every step of the way. From hardwood to pet-friendly carpet, find the perfect fit for your home and budget. Visit the showroom or start your project now at huntsflooring.com. Hunt's Flooring. Flooring you'll feel good about.
We see you out there making the most of every moment, one big, bright idea at a time. At Blaine's, we're glad to be part of it by offering best-in-class products and solutions at unbeatable farm and fleet prices. Like special buy men's Skechers, just $29.99. 10% off assorted KT welding accessories. Save $3 on Taste of the Wild dog food. And 20-pound bags of Blaine's brand Easy Scoop cat litter, 4 for $24. Find value on the things you value. Blaine's Farm and Fleet. Be an original.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. It's an off day for the Brewers following that 3-game sweep of the Dodgers.
So many different contributions, from everybody up and down the lineup, and guys stepping up across the entire roster. It's been great to watch.
Brewers GM Matt Arnold. The homestand resumes Friday night with Game 1 of a 3-game series against the Nationals. Brewers reliever Trevor McGill replaces Freddie Peralta on the National League All-Star team, and the Bucks begin play in the Vegas Summer League tonight, taking on the Denver Nuggets.
Checking out the roads with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. In addition to the delays due to our construction zones on 41 and 43, just have a couple of disabled vehicles, including one out in Waukesha County, I-94 East, right around the ramp from Barker Road. The right shoulder is blocked due to a car that's broken down there. And then if we travel a little bit past Mount Pleasant, close to the Sturtevant area, we also have a disabled vehicle out that way. Not a lot of traffic, though, so that's good. Disabled vehicle on the exit to Wisconsin 11 from 4194 South.
Beautiful day today, a high of 83 degrees. There is a chance for some rain later tonight and a low of 67. Humidity ramps up a little bit tomorrow with a high of 85. Again, some lingering showers are possible. Maybe better chance for rain later in the evening hours. Good chance of rain on Saturday as well. Again, humid with a high of 84 degrees. It's 74 and partly sunny in Milwaukee at 208.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios in downtown Milwaukee, it's Wisconsin's Midday News, making stories come to life. Now, here are your hosts, Greg Matzek and Jessica Tighe.
Well, hard to believe that the Major League Baseball All-Star break is coming up here in less than a week. I mentioned this yesterday in a sportscast, but the Packers have a preseason game in less than a month.
Jeez, summer is just slipping away.
Less than 2 weeks till training camp.
I am excited, though. I'm excited to go to games again.
You start to get that overlap of sports, right? The Brewers are playing. You got a Bucks game tonight. It is Summer League, but the Bucks are playing tonight, or some representation of the Bucks are playing tonight. But nonetheless.
Isn't there a local guy, too?
Well, there is. So there's a kid named David Joplin who starred at Brookfield Central and at Marquette, who is a part of the Bucks Summer League roster. In fact, our teammate, Ben Brust, was a part of the Bucks Summer League roster when Giannis was on that team.
Yeah, that was a cool experience.
Ben
but
and
I
Giannis
love
played
the
together.
local guys. Just having that little local nugget. So we'll see what happens with him.
Yeah, just get an NBA flavor tonight in Las Vegas.
Little taste.
209 on WTMJ.
Here's your top 2 at 2 on Wisconsin's Midday News.
Number 1, it was just a look-alike. The search in Idaho for a Pewaukee native accused of killing his 3 kids is over. Authorities have stopped looking for Travis Decker in Idaho's Sawtooth National Forest after identifying and interviewing a man who was believed to be the fugitive. Members of the U.S. Marshal Service found that hiker yesterday and have since cleared him. Multiple campers spotted the guy over the 4th of July weekend and thought it was Decker. He did match Decker's general appearance, and the camper said, you might remember this when we first reported it, he was acting odd, like he didn't want to make eye contact with his family that saw him. And then it wasn't just the family who saw this guy. A couple other hikers said they noticed him too. Well, law enforcement officers are now demobilizing the multi-agency search operation that had been active since Monday. Bottom line, the Pewaukee native is still on the run, if he's even alive at this point. Decker is accused of suffocating and killing his 3 young daughters in Washington state.
Number 2, tuition could be on the rise at universities of Wisconsin institutions. So the UW Board of Regents is meeting today, and they've got a proposal in front of them drafted by System President Jay Rothman. He wants to increase tuition for resident undergrads by up to 5% beginning this next academic year. So the proposal would actually increase tuition by 4% across the board, every university in the system, from Eau Claire to Superior to La Crosse, Madison, Milwaukee, and so on. And then each university in the system has an option of raising tuition an additional 1%. And according to a release from the universities, looks like every institution except Green Bay would be looking for that additional 1%. So looking at the numbers here, tuition has increased at universities of Wisconsin's institutions about 7.5% over a 10-year stretch beginning in 2015. They point out in a release that neighboring states have seen an increase in tuition from 22% to 29% during that same period. So they're saying, look, tuition is going up, but compared to what's going on in Michigan and Illinois and Minnesota, we're doing pretty good here. So I was looking at the range of tuition. This is just tuition, not room and board, not books, not your drinking money.
Gosh, what does a book, do they even have books anymore?
Well, that's a good question, too. I remember my anatomy book cost like $120, and then I could trade it back in, and I got like 11 for it on the trade-in. So we just sold it to members in our fraternity.
Yeah, there were times you'd go to return a book, and you couldn't get anything for it. And I was like, okay, well, I guess I'll keep this one.
All right, we've got Enter Caroline sitting in here, and what does a book cost? What does a book cost? Say it in the mic. What do we got?
I paid like $150 for one time, so it's still kind of expensive.
Okay, but there are still books. Okay.
For every class?
Appreciate
or is
that.
some of it just online and there's no book?
Yeah, some online.
Some online,
Okay.
she says, yeah.
Some online. Nonetheless, if you're just looking at tuition, the range of tuition for state schools in the state system range from about $8,700 up to $12,166, the number coming out of UW-Madison. Now factor in all the other things, and you're probably near, $30,000. Still a decent value, under $10,000 for the bulk of institutions in our state. Now, you want to go the private route, Beloit, Lawrence, Ripon, Marquette, MSOE, those are the most expensive schools in our state, private institutions. A lot of grant money. There's a lot of opportunities for scholarship there, too. But Beloit's up to like $60,000 a year. Beloit College. That's amazing.
Looks like it's time to start applying for those scholarships.
Yes, no
More
doubt about it.
scholarships.
Be interested to see where this one goes. It is 2:12 on WTMJ. We continue Wisconsin's Midday News after this.
Are you frustrated with those trendy weight loss shots? Whether you've hit a plateau, can't handle the side effects, or watch the pounds creep back after stopping, there's a better way. The Milwaukee Weight Loss Program has helped thousands of people lose up to 10 to 20% of their body weight in just 8 weeks without expensive injections or uncomfortable side effects. Our doctor-developed program costs up to half as much and works up to twice as fast. Ready for real lasting results? Our caring team at Milwaukee Weight Loss is ready to help you achieve your weight loss goals. Visit MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com now to schedule schedule your free consultation.
Hey, it's WTMJ's Steve Scafidi. I dropped 40 pounds with Milwaukee Weight Loss. No crazy workouts, no meal kits or shakes, and definitely no meds or injections. They helped reset my metabolism, and the weight's actually stayed off. It's been a game changer for me. Many patients lose 20 to 30 pounds in a month or two. Schedule your free consultation today by calling 262-393-2334 or online at MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. That's MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com.
You should be listening to Wisconsin's Midday News with Greg Matzek and Jessica Tighe each weekday.
Could I hit a ball out of the park at American Family
You don't
Field?
think you could get one?
I
I
actually
could not.
do think I could hit one out of the
See, that's what I
park
was
at American
thinking.
Family Field.
Yeah.
But if you missed us, catch up anytime with our Wisconsin's Midday News podcast.
So subscribe, take us with you wherever you go. Full shows, full hours.
Powered by Siding Unlimited. It's siding and a whole lot more.
Escape the city and relax at Lake Lawn Resort in beautiful Delavan, Wisconsin. Enjoy outdoor activities on Delavan Lake, tee off at the Lakeside Majestic Oaks Golf Course, or unwind at the award-winning Caladora Spa. With both indoor and outdoor pools, there's fun for the whole family. Take a cruise on the Lake Lawn Queen, explore stunning shores and historic landmarks, and enjoy delicious food and drinks on board. Book your stay today at lakelawnresort.com, where everything is better at the lake.
83-year high today, 67-year overnight low, chance of rain tonight. Humidity cranks up a little bit tomorrow with a high of 85 degrees. It's 76 and partly sunny in Milwaukee at 2:15.
Sunday will mark 1 year since a gunman tried to assassinate President Trump. The man targeted Trump at a campaign rally in Butler, Pennsylvania. Now sources are saying in recent months, half a dozen members of the U.S. Secret Service have been disciplined because of it. ABC's Stephen Portnoy has the details.
The 6 Secret Service personnel who've been disciplined range from line agents to supervisors. Sources say the suspensions lasted between 10 and 42 days. The Homeland Security Secretary told Fox News President Trump has been briefed on changes to Secret Service protocols, including new arrangements for how the agency coordinates with local law enforcement. The current Secret Service Director, Sean Curran, previously served as the leader of Trump's detail, and he shielded him immediately after last year's shooting in Butler.
Remember, that bullet grazed Trump's ear. Just days later, Trump showed up earlier than expected to the Republican National Convention here in Milwaukee. He had a Band-Aid over that ear. We were all kind of waiting to see what he would look like, to see if he would have a bandage, and then sure enough, he did. It was the first time he had been seen publicly since the assassination attempt. A couple days later, also here in Milwaukee, he would recount surviving that shooting during his speech at the RNC, and that was a moment, Greg, I will never forget it, because it doesn't matter where you fall on the political spectrum, but to see a former president who would later become president again talk about someone trying to kill him, it was quite the moment.
It was something, and it was really, it became sort of a unifying moment for the Republican Party. They were pretty disjointed last year at times, and then the Democratic Party became quite disjointed with removing President Biden from the ballot for the recently completed election. But I remember Republicans walking around, and we covered that event like we cover every big event, right? We try and bring the story to whoever is paying attention and listening. And the word unified was used more in those first couple of days of the RNC than I guess I was expecting. But it was a unifying kind of event for that party that was in a bit of disarray in the time leading up to the RNC. So, but I agree with you. And I remember the day that it happened. We were at a graduation party in our neighborhood, and we were going to go grab a bite to eat afterwards. And all of a sudden, I see all the alerts coming through my phone, and it was just like, I got to go to work. It's time to go to work, right? And I drove downtown, and John Mercure was here, and Eric Bilstad was here. I went on the street to try and find anybody who might be able to comment, just anything. And CBS's Major Garrett had just landed in Milwaukee.
That's right.
And I saw him setting up for a live shot near Fiserv Forum. And he saw me, and we have known each other just from times on the afternoon show. And he kind of waved me over because he had a little bit of a break. He's like, I can give you a few minutes here. And he walked me through his timeline of events. He's on a plane hovering over Milwaukee, landing, trying to figure out what the story is going to be. And as soon as he lands, he figures out, holy cow.
All the alerts coming on his phone.
Everything is different.
Well, and we were just talking about college books. I remember thinking there at the RNC, listening to Trump's speech, that this is a moment for the history books. I mean, reporting for WTMJ, You were right there up in front, and you had Trump giving his speech. You had those dramatic pictures of the blood on his face that displayed behind him. And then you also had the picture of him. Remember, you'll never forget this. I mean, it was all over the papers the next day. His fist in the air when he got up after being shot. And they also that night rolled out the firefighter uniform to remember the firefighter who was killed during that assassination attempt. I mean, it was just one of those moments where you thought, wow, this is a moment in history. And it happened right here in Milwaukee.
Yeah, pretty amazing stuff. Yeah, year ago. And also knocking on the door of the 1-year anniversary of the RNC here in the city of Milwaukee. 2:19 on WTMJ. WTMJ's Eric Bilstad celebrates an everyday hero. We'll check into that next. And by the way, if you like podcasts, subscribe to ours, the Wisconsin's Midday News Podcast, found wherever you find your podcasts and built by Siding Unlimited. Truly siding and a whole lot more. It's the Wisconsin's Midday News Podcast, wherever you get your podcasts, or at WTMJ.com.
The historic Fox and Hound Supper Club is the most beautiful and affordable summer dining destination. WTMJ's John Mercure here. Listen to this. This Saturday only, enjoy a 10-ounce prime rib with a mixed grill of 3 shrimp, 3 scallops, and 4-ounce grilled salmon topped with garlic butter and all the sides for $69.99. And that's for 2 dinners. That's right, 2 world-class dinners for $69.99. Relax with a cold beverage on that patio in the woods, then your free dinner in one of the 8 unique, beautiful dining rooms. The Fox and Hounds off Highway 167, 2 miles east of the Holy Hill Shrine. That drive through the Connemara Forest is absolutely gorgeous. And this Saturday only, enjoy 2 prime rib, shrimp, scallop, and salmon dinners for just $69.99. That's ridiculously good. Desserts are always buy one, get one free, and they're fantastic. Great service, great food, but call and reserve today for your free Saturday dinner. The famous Fox and Hounds.
Dan, what are you doing?
Taking a closet for a test drive.
A test drive?
Here at Inspired Closets, we have our own cutting-edge immersive design experience.
That's right. Envision by Inspired Closets uses AR technology that's sort of like test driving a car.
Virtually walk into your custom closet at scale before anything is even built.
You can even make changes in real time, so your environment will adapt to any design revisions you make in that moment.
Get started today at InspiredClosetsMilwaukee.com.
Inspired Closets, a wife and husband team.
WTMJ's Vince Vitrano here for Shopco Optical. Get eyewear for everything you do at Shopco Optical. Schedule your annual comprehensive eye exam, check out new frame styles, and order your annual supply of contact lenses all in one place. Enjoy the time and attention your eyes deserve at Shopco Optical. Receive quality eye care and a personalized vision solution tailored to your specific vision and lifestyle needs. Call Shopco Optical or visit shopco.com to schedule an appointment at a location nearest you.
Time to recognize another everyday hero. Here's WTMJ's Eric Bilstad with the story.
An everyday hero is when Wisconsin's Morning News identifies and celebrates an average John or Jane Doe who had no idea when they got up one morning they'd be saving a life. Today we head to Jonestown, Texas. Texas and South Central Texas have been in the news a lot the last several days because of the tragic flooding that's taken place there. Today, we feel it's important to highlight one of the many heroic moments that have been taking place as well. In Jonestown, Chrissy Eliashar and her 3 children were in bed sleeping when the torrential rain and heavy flooding began. It was right by their house, and they had no idea. Matthew Crowder was on his way to work, and it was early that morning, 3 a.m., when he noticed, of course, the rapidly rising floodwaters, and he spotted this house that was clearly in danger. He says there was a large river starting to form by the home. It was creaking. There was floodwaters pouring into areas of the house. He wanted to get whoever was inside that house out, so he called 911. Here's what he told ABC News.
And fire dispatchers actually told me when I was on the phone with them that keep them in their house. But I had told him that the house was starting to make noise and trees were coming down and water was coming out of their front door under them and underneath the house as well. And so I had just told dispatch that, hey, send help or not, I have work to do. And that's when we had started the whole process.
Send help or not, I have work to do, is what he told the dispatch. So he went to work. He got to the house door, banged on the door, yelling for the family to wake up.
I couldn't make sense of it. My son heard, and he came and ran to me in the bedroom with a very forceful, "Mom, there's a man screaming. We've got to go now."
Chrissy tells NBC News it took her a moment to realize what was really happening right then.
I couldn't comprehend it. I opened the front door, and there was a raging river that had appeared underneath my house. It was terrifying.
So Crowder tells the family, says, okay, we got to get out of here. Grab the dogs, grab the pets, let's go. But it wasn't easy. It was treacherous. So he had to stay calm.
It was just, repeating the instructions. I was pretty scared myself, and I've never done anything like this. So it was just doing what made sense to me and just kind of stepping up as a natural leader and just being that calm and giving that clear instruction.
The family was able to get away from the house, but not before some dire moments leaving that area. She lost her car, Chrissy did, and the house is severely damaged. What does she make of Crowder?
He's my angel. Thank you so much for saving our lives. That's all I can't say enough. I'm beyond words.
Thank you, Matthew Crowder, and to all of the everyday heroes. Your heroic efforts have saved lives in Texas. Everyday Heroes, sponsored by Azura Memory Care and Assisted Living, transforming the culture of care. Eric Bilstead, WTMJ News.
Always good stuff from WTMJ's Eric Bilstead. We've got the 2:30 news coming up. A half hour left. It's Wisconsin's Midday News on WTMJ.
Looking ahead to life's next adventure? Hi, I'm Mike Yancey from Yancey & Associates. Whether you're buying a home or launching your dream business, we know there's a lot on your plate. But here's the thing, you don't have to go it alone. Since 1946, we've helped Wisconsinites like you secure, protect, and grow their version of the American dream. Our team is ready to tailor the perfect plan for you. Learn more at ANSAY.com. That's ANSAY.com.
WTMJ's Brandon Snide for Wisconsin Harley-Davidson. Their homecoming festival begins July 10th in Oconomowoc with 2 stages, 22 bands, 4 days, and 55 exhibitors, food trucks, and a wide variety of those icy cold beverages. This family-friendly environment also includes bingo, line dancing, 6 acres of motorcycle parking, and so much more. The 122nd Homecoming Festival begins and ends at Wisconsin Harley-Davidson in Oconomowoc. Go to WISHD.com or find them on Facebook. Wisconsin Harley-Davidson, your destination dealer.
If you've ever worried about your heart, if you've ever loved someone with heart disease, if you've ever wondered if you're the one at risk, let's remind ourselves that we are not powerless. Because at the Froedtert and the Medical College of Wisconsin Health Network, we're pushing to outsmart heart and vascular disease by working with you personally to understand your history, assess your risks, and guide you to heart strength. By digging deep with tireless research and offering access to leading-edge clinical trials. And for the most serious conditions, including heart failure, heart valve disease, arrhythmias, and vascular diseases, we provide renowned expertise and the most advanced life-saving procedures you expect from academic medicine. So let's get out in front of heart disease. Let's outsmart it. Let's keep pushing so that every one of us can outrun it and embrace every beautiful day life in Wisconsin has to offer. To learn more about our nationally renowned heart and vascular care, visit Froedtert.com/heart.
Wisconsin's Morning News is here for you every weekday morning starting at 6 a.m. Vince Petrano.
3 people injured, including a Shorewood police officer, in an early morning incident.
Eric Bilstead.
A major tariff deadline looms this week that has already been pushed back to August 1st.
And traffic with Debbie Lozica.
Just past Fond du Lac Avenue, all lanes of traffic are closed on northbound Highway 32.
The news you need to know. Wisconsin's Morning News on WTMJ.
Save on the best quality furniture and mattresses during the July Independence Day sale at Ken Michaels Furniture. With major discounts from our premier suppliers, you will save big on top brands like Bradington Young, made in the foothills of the Great Smoky Mountains. Bradington Young is known for its fine quality leather upholstery. Fjords brings you modern Scandinavian design recliners and sofas, ergonomically engineered for more hip and back support. Norwalk, with American roots that go back over 100 years, specializes in making furniture just for you. Choose the piece, style, fabric, or leather you want, and in just 35 days, we'll deliver your new sofa, chair, or sectional. In-stock or special orders are all sale priced. Need a little help putting it all together? At Ken Michaels Furniture, our design staff is ready to help you with your purchases, and it's free. Stop in today and save now during the Independence Day sale at Ken Michaels Furniture on Capitol Drive in Brookfield, Highway 100 in Greenfield, or our downtown Mattress Factory showroom.
Helping people and families seriously injured in accidents and standing up for victims to take the burden off their shoulders. Greg Matzek here for Gruber Law Offices. David and his son Stephen, they're in our studios a couple of days ago. It's been such a joy to get to know this family over the years, covering events, played a little basketball with Stephen. Just great people, wonderful people, there to help you if you've been hurt in an accident. Let Gruber focus on the legal aspect while you focus on healing. What they've been doing for 40 years and delivering for their clients, getting results that speak for themselves. And giving back to the community, also very important for the folks at Gruber. Making a difference, helping those in the community, doing it for decades. Locally known and nationally recognized, it's Gruber Law Offices. Visit them at gruber-law.com. Give them a phone call at 414-276-6666.
Hey, WTMJ's John Mercure here. I hope you'll join me every Saturday at 1 o'clock for Experience Wisconsin. We check in with communities, people, events throughout Wisconsin. We're going to show you some really fun stuff. Romantic getaways, family fun ideas. We've got it covered for you from top to bottom. This week, a great show. The Marcus Center for the Performing Arts has a cool event coming up. Lake Geneva, one of the special parts of our state, will be featured, and also Lake Lawn Resort. It's Experience Wisconsin right here on WTMJ.
It's 2:30. I'm Greg Matzek. This is Wisconsin's Midday News for Thursday, July 10th. Your top story, funeral information for a fallen officer.
I'm Jessica Tighe, closing the gap on the budget.
73 and sunny in Milwaukee.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. On the sidelines of the Asian Foreign Ministers Conference in Malaysia, Secretary of State Marco Rubio spoke with his Russian counterpart today about Russia's escalation of attacks in Ukraine and little or no progress made on ending the war.
I echoed what the president has said, both disappointment and frustration at the lack of progress in peace talks or in a path forward.
Rubio says the president is considering a Senate bipartisan bill to slap new sanctions on Russia. Crews continue to search for 160 listed missing in Texas nearly a week after catastrophic floods. Aid groups are also helping survivors and those displaced with basic needs and shelter. In New Mexico, officials say the deadly floods last weekend have killed 3 and destroyed hundreds of homes. The women's final is set for Saturday at Wimbledon. It follows an upset after American Amanda Anisimova beat out number 1 ranked Aryna Sabalenka in the semifinal. She'll go up against Iga Swiatek Saturday. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited. WTMJ News Time is 2:31. Milwaukee police providing more information about Friday's procession and funeral for fallen officer Kendall Corder.
The public visitation at Elmbrook Church in Brookfield starts at 11 a.m. Friday, followed by a funeral at 2:30 and police honors after that. It'll likely be around 5 p.m. when a funeral procession will bring the officer's remains from the church to Wisconsin Memorial Park. MPD says the procession route will be north on Barker Road and then east on Capitol Drive to the cemetery for that private burial. Police tell us the escort bringing Officer Corder's casket to the church will be at a smaller scale. That will be tomorrow morning around 9-ish. Eric Bilstead, WTMJ News.
Officer Corder died after he was shot during an ambush last month. A suspect is in custody.
The city of Milwaukee is looking to close a $100 million budget gap as part of the 2026 operating budget. Director of the Budget Management Division, Nick Kovac.
We have several options for how the mayor will propose closing that gap. Broadly speaking, in 3 categories. They are to increase revenue beyond projections, to decrease expenditures beyond requests, making cuts, or to use sustainable withdrawals from reserve funds.
Kovac says the ultimate goal is a balanced budget without detrimental cuts to all city departments.
The Wisconsin Elections Commission says a former Madison clerk broke multiple laws in November.
An investigation led by the commission found probable cause that Madison City Clerk Maribeth Witzelbell broke 5 state election laws, including failing to properly supervise an election and failing to provide information to poll workers and the Municipal Board of Canvassers. What the commission calls a confluence of errors led to nearly 200 absentee ballots not being counted in the November presidential election. The commission will vote on whether to accept the report's findings on July 17th. Jessica Gatzo, WTMJ News.
Keep your eyes on the road and stick to the speed limit in Kenosha County. Today, Wisconsin State Patrol pilots are using aerial enforcement to look for traffic violations. They're focused right now on I-94 in Kenosha County. Maybe that's why we haven't seen many speeders down there when doing the traffic updates. No crashes. Everybody's being careful. Here's how it works. When a pilot observes a violation, they communicate with ground-based units to initiate a traffic stop. The goal is to stop drivers who are speeding or driving aggressively.
Honoring a fallen hero from Milwaukee. Bayview captain and native Captain Lance Saijan served in Vietnam and died as a prisoner of war in 1968. Now the FC-4 Phantom jet that commemorates his service has been restored near the airport. Saijan's sister Janine says those who visit her brother's plane can find some sort of peace and closure.
If you need a quiet moment and you want that aircraft to hum over at different times because we're at the airport, you might just feel a little transition within yourself.
Milwaukee County officials have promised to maintain Saijan's memorial to honor his legacy.
Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 2:34.
WTMJ's John Mercure here for Annex Wealth Management. If you have big questions about inflation, money, and your retirement goals, join me Tuesday, July 15th with your questions as I co-host an Instant Insight webinar with Annex Wealth Management's Chief Economist, Brian Jacobson. It's July 15th at 9 a.m. It's free, but you must register. Go to WTMJ.com, click the Instant Insight Register Now button, or check out events at AnnexWealth.com. Tuesday, July 15th, 9 a.m. It's free, but you need to register.
There's an amazing supper club in Wisconsin Dells, Ish Nala, nestled among the pines and perched above the sandstone bluffs of Mirror Lake. The beauty, the history, the service, the food, the fun. Hi, this is Bob Prosser, owner of Ish Nala Supper Club in Wisconsin Dells. I've been a part of Ish Nala since 1973, and I am so proud to continue the tradition that began in 1953. Why not enjoy a brandy old-fashioned in one of our bars, each with a spectacular view overlooking Mirror Lake, or just relax before or after dinner on one of our outdoor decks. Our Ish Nala chefs have prepared your favorites: 24-ounce ribeye, cold water lobster tails, North Atlantic salmon, and of course, Ish Nala's roast duck. Thank you for making Ish Nala Wisconsin's favorite supper club, where the only thing we overlook is Mirror Lake. I'm Bob Prosser, and I want to serve you.
It's worth $100 now to save thousands later. Vince Vitrano for Urban Heating and Cooling. Family-owned business. Ryan and his wife, Ellie. I had Ryan out to the Vitrano house for an AC tune-up. Cleaned out all the coils, checked for any issues that could cause breakdowns, set up my air conditioner to run more efficiently all summer. This service available in your home for just $99 plus tax, saving on your electric bills, helping prevent more costly repairs down the road. Tell them Vinny sent you when you call. UrbanHeatingandCooling.com.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. It's an off day for the Brewers after a 3-game sweep of the Dodgers. Newly acquired first baseman Andrew Vaughn. Great series, a 3-run home run in his first plate appearance as a Brewer. He also drove in the game-tying run in the 9th inning on Wednesday.
He's a really humble kid, and he's been through a lot, and for him to go down to AAA after what he's done, even as a big leaguer in his career, and then come back up and help us, to be able to come through for him, I'm most excited for him more than anybody else, for sure.
It's Brewers GM Matt Arnold. The homestand resumes Friday night against the Nationals. Brewers reliever Trevor McGill replaces Freddie Peralta on the National League roster for the All-Star team. And the Bucks begin play in Las Vegas. The Summer League kicks off tonight for Milwaukee against the Denver Nuggets.
Checking out the roads with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. I'm taking a peek at Kenosha County right now. I do see all you drivers driving the speed limit. Thank you for listening. They've got that aerial enforcement right now. So people are taking note of that. And if you didn't know, now you know. So be careful out there. We do have some significant slowing in our construction zone on 41. Nothing new. Same thing on 43. The construction zones are a little bit slow. as is usual right now. The only other thing we have going on is I-94 East right around Barker Road. Right shoulder is still blocked due to a car that's broken down. That's been out there for a while. There is a decent amount of traffic, but it's not slow because of that.
Enjoy the day today. Radar looks pretty good right now, though I can't see it in the studio. So just take my word for it. I'm sure it looks fantastic. I got a lot of sun on my radar over here. It's 83 degrees inland, a little cooler near the lake. Chance of rain later on tonight. Humidity ramps up a little bit tomorrow with a high of 85. It's 73, partly sunny in Milwaukee at 238. Well, the radar was there, and it's gone. And now it's Microsoft 365 Copilot.
Somebody's email, apparently?
I don't know. Should we try and get into it? Is that Scafidis? Is that what he does?
Can I get into it? I don't know.
Maybe. Maybe not. So the Bucks begin Summer League play tonight. If you want to go way back when, the Summer League has been a thing for a couple of decades in Las Vegas. I remember watching Giannis play in this thing when he was a rookie, second-year player. He's all arms and legs and elbows. And
he was so skinny.
I know. He's just like a wild colt without a saddle running around on the floor.
I can still visualize when they introduced him to the city at the Milwaukee Public Market. I can still, picture him, what he looked like on that very day. And we were so excited and had no idea what he would bring to the city.
Well, Giannis is far removed from playing in Summer League games anymore. So he's in Greece right now. The summer of Giannis continues in his native country. So the Bucks star is hanging out in his home country. He made a surprise appearance at a live stream with a popular YouTuber. He goes by Speed.
I've never heard of him, but apparently he's popular.
Speed the YouTuber.
Okay.
Well, he's done enough to get Giannis's attention. So Giannis spent some time with Speed and hanging out in his neighborhood, the court he dunked on for the very first time as a kid. Later, Giannis gave Speed a tour of Athens. They went out for dinner and had a good time. And then they got to talking about Giannis's upbringing and eventually his future in the NBA.
LA, the tax is bad. New York, tax is bad. Yeah. Hell no.
A lot of people tried to convince me to go and play there and stuff.
Oh, no. No. So you staying in Milwaukee?
Probably. We'll see. Probably. I love Milwaukee.
That's 3 probablys, 2 will sees, and 1 I love Milwaukee.
I had to plug my ears this time. I couldn't listen to it again because I was surprised. I know he says at the end, I love Milwaukee, but, and it's we don't think he's leaving right now, but the pause, the we'll see a couple times, didn't love that.
Now, that may have been at a time in this podcast, this streaming, that it didn't appear to me that was like sort of part of their shtick and like what they were doing. It felt like a little sort of candid conversation, and maybe it was kind of all designed to be part of this live stream. It was a casual conversation, but it didn't seem like Giannis really wanted to get into much there. So he just throws probably, with intentionally not being definitive about anything. Now, of course, as a Bucks fan, you'd love him to be definitive and say, yes, for sure, I'm coming back. We got a great shot at this thing.
Also, I don't know. I mean, I feel like Giannis is smart with this stuff. So I'm really surprised that he didn't just say, oh, yeah, I'll be back, no matter what, period, done. Just to not put any doubt out there. But you think he has a message?
The probablys also, to me, sound better than I don't know or still need to have discussions with the front office and ownership. Like that would make me go, wait a minute, what? Because many people believed after the Miles Turner trade, you get the starting center in, the Bucks paid a lot of money for him. You know Dame is going to be sidelined, and now he's not even part of the organization anymore because he's got that Achilles injury. They traded him, or released him, I should say. I think maybe Giannis is looking at this and putting a little pressure on the front office to make another move. Probably. Looks okay right now, but can we do better?
What's this guy's name again who he's talking to? I Show Speed or Speed?
Speed. I think he just goes by Speed.
Oh, because there's another guy, I Show Speed, who's very popular. So I'm just trying to figure out which one he is. Because do we really think that, Horst is paying attention to this?
Yes. Yes, I do.
Well, now that everybody's airing it, but before...
You know how sometimes your phone goes off if there's some sort of alert? I have to imagine that there's some sort of alert on John Horst's phone that anytime Giannis does something, bloop, it just pops up. So he is made aware of everything that's happening. This was taped yesterday. yesterday in Greece. So July 10th in Greece, and now July 10th here in the United States. So
maybe Giannis wasn't feeling so right in the head. He wasn't feeling so well because it's been very hot in Athens. Like so hot they've had to shut down the Acropolis for a few hours. So maybe he just, maybe his energy wasn't there. He's like, probably. We'll see.
It's the latest thing for the national so-called experts to glom onto. I still think it's
without a doubt. They're going to roll with this one because this is the first time I thought, ooh, I don't like that.
I still believe with a very high degree of certainty that Giannis will play next season for the Bucks.
Oh, yes. I think so, too. It just makes me wonder about the seasons after that. I even hearing that, I don't think Giannis is not going to be playing for the Bucks next season. I don't think that at all. But it does make me a little worried.
We'll see if it gets aired or referenced during their Summer League game tonight. It's 2:43 on WTMJ.
Restaurant prices are soaring, but not at the Mineshaft restaurant in Hartford. WTMJ's John Mercure here. Every Thursday, when you buy one pizza, you get a second pizza free. So don't turn on your oven today. Enjoy a free pizza at the Mineshaft. Buy one pizza, get one free. Buy 5, get 5 free pizzas. You want 100 pizzas? You'll get 100 free pizzas. Any size, any quantity. Coaches, bring in your soccer and baseball team for free pizza. Your players will love that huge game room. It's super affordable team bonding. Bring in pizza today for your hardworking employees. Order now and pick up your free pizza shortly. They will appreciate you. Don't cook. Take your family to the cool and comfortable Mineshaft for free pizza. The Mineshaft in beautiful downtown Hartford and in Oshkosh right near EAA. Buy one pizza today, get one free. Just walk on in. And the Friday all-you-can-eat haddock fish fry is just $7.99. It's big food. It's big fun. It's the Mineshaft Restaurant. MineshaftRestaurant.com.
Woo! Hey, this is Ben Brust from Kyle Brust and Nortman on ESPN Wisconsin. People can't stop screaming about the Screamin' Sicilian frozen pizza, and no wonder. There's plenty to scream about, like the buttery stone-fired crust, secret recipe tomato sauce, mounds of whole milk mozzarella, and tons of premium toppings. Find Screamin' Sicilian in your local grocer's freezer and find out for yourself why Sporked called Screamin' Sicilian's Holy Pepperoni frozen pizza the best of the best. Screamin' Sicilian, taste what all the screamin' is about.
Whether you're a local who wants to enjoy a night out or you're planning to visit Milwaukee, enjoy an artfully stylish experience at St. Kate the Arts Hotel, conveniently located in the heart of downtown Milwaukee's Theater District. With deluxe accommodations, culinary creativity, on-site art galleries, artist in residence, and nightly live music, you'll enjoy every element of your stay at St. Kate. Learn more and book your stay at stkatearts.com.
Well, for the most part, a very nice day today with a high of 83 degrees. Overnight low of 67. You might have some rain tonight popping onto the forecast, and it's not a big line of storms or anything like that. It would be of the pop-up variety. Could be the same case tomorrow with a high of 85 degrees. Humidity going to ramp up a little bit. Decent chance of rain in the late morning and afternoon hours on Saturday as well with a high of 84 degrees. It's 73 and partly sunny in Milwaukee at 246. A local road realignment heralds a big safety change for an area airport.
Usually when you see a road getting realigned and redone, it's for the road traffic. This time, it's a little different. Airport manager for the Waukesha County Airport, Kurt Stanich, says this isn't just about paving roads. It's about adhering to rigorous federal standards that are decades in the making.
The FAA came through and determined that our safety areas off the end of the runways were insufficient for their standards. While it's a little bit different than road projects, it is a safety project for our road system that surrounds the airport to make sure that if anything would happen on the airport, that it's the most unlikely as possible that incident would affect our citizens traveling on the roads around us.
Think of it like this. The airport is creating larger, safer buffer zones around its runways. One visible change currently underway involves the realignment of Silvernail Road. This isn't the first time this road has been moved, with a previous shift in 1988 for runway expansion. But this time, the goal is purely safety.
We are moving the road as far west as possible in order to give the most amount of safety space for the people that are using the airport. So what that required was to take Silvernail Road from the short S curve that it is, make it a little tighter of a bend down by Denny's, and kind of sweep through the area to the north and connect it back to Blue Mound Road.
The Silvernail Road relocation, which is phase 1 of this project, is expected to wrap up by mid to late August of this year, assuming Mother Nature cooperates, of course. But the work doesn't stop there. The next, even more impactful phase requires work on the runway itself.
That will add 400 feet of concrete to the runway, but it doesn't actually expand the capacity of our runway. We won't be able to accept larger airplanes or anything like that, but it does provide some of that overrun area that we need in order to have our safety areas as most safe as possible. What the 400 extra feet of pavement does is effectively shift the runway to the west.
This isn't about extending the runway for bigger jets, but rather shifting the existing usable runway to create that critical safety buffer. If an aircraft were to overrun the usable pavement, they'd land on more concrete, not grass. This construction is expected to run from early April through mid-August of next year, during which time some aircraft operations will experience a temporarily shortened runway. The ultimate benefit is about protecting everyone.
Statistically, the FAA studies have been proven correct that anytime those things happen, they happen within this designated runway safety area. And so by moving the road and extending a little bit of the pavement for that safety area, we're making sure that all of that safety area is within the airport boundary and none of that safety area goes over any surrounding roadways.
This infrastructure investment is largely federally funded, with the FAA providing a substantial 90% of the cost. The remaining 10% comes from the state of Wisconsin and the Airport Capital Project Fund. If you're curious to see these improvements firsthand, or just want to learn a little bit more about the airport operations, Kurt invites everyone to a unique weekly event.
We also have our weekly Food Truck Friday, which is from 11 to 1:30 every week out here at the airport. We bring some food trucks out, have some picnic tables. It's a great way to get inside the fence, get to meet some aviators, see some airplanes, eat some great food, and ask as many questions as you like. We'd love to see everybody.
Now, phase 1 of the project, Silvernail's realignment, has started with full closures of that roadway until later in August. We have more information and maps online at WTMJ.com if you want to take a closer look. Debbie Lazaga, WTMJ News.
Good stuff, Deb. Hey, speaking of airplanes and airlines, there is a sentence been handed down by a federal judge to Svetlana Dali. Does that name ring a bell to you? Svetlana Dali?
Was Svetlana the stowaway?
Yes, there you go. The woman caught stowing away on a JFK flight to Paris last fall. She'd been in federal custody for 7 months after she sneaked onto that Delta flight. ABC's Aaron Katursky.
The statute that she was charged under and convicted of flying as a stowaway only carries a sentence of 6 months. So she's been in jail now longer than that since her arrest. And so the judge said she wanted there to be a deterrent. She said there's a danger that other people could try to copy Svetlana Dali's behavior, and we can't have that in our society. That, she said, would be unacceptable. So time served with an added year of supervised release.
So many questions remain about this story. But yes, in custody for nearly 7 months. Looks like she'll tack on an additional 6 months as a result of that sentencing from a federal judge.
It is 2:51 on this Thursday, inching closer to the weekend at this point. Are you hungry or are you full? Did you just have lunch? Producer Gina is hungry. Coming up, what's returning that has her satiating?
Hey, Wisconsin, it's construction season, and the Wisconsin DOT wants to help you safely navigate work zones in your area. Check 511wi.gov or download the free 511 app to see current road work, closures, detours, and camera views on your route. Wherever your travels take you, know before you go with 511wi.gov. That's 511wi.gov. And remember, know before you go. Always park the phone while driving. Sponsored by the Wisconsin DOT.
Hi, I'm Eric Brown, owner of Siding Unlimited, reminding you to double-check your home. Siding Unlimited is the proven exteriors professionals for 31 years. Family-owned and locally operated right here in Wisconsin. Call Siding Unlimited and visit sidingunlimited.com.
remember mixtapes?
I was more of an 8-track guy myself.
You know, the new Marshfield 7000 Sulfa at Penny Mustard reminds me of the world's greatest mixtape.
We have taken the latest and greatest components of every configurable sofa and mixed them all together into one.
It's kind of like a greatest hits album, except you can sit on it.
The Marshfield 7000 Sofa, made in Wisconsin with a solid wood frame and hundreds of fabric and leather options, starting at just $21.26 at Penny Mustard.
Showrooms in Milwaukee and Chicago.
PennyMustard.com.
WTMJ.
All right, so I left for a couple of minutes to hop in on a meeting today about 11 o'clock, and our rundown admittedly was not 100% full, but for the most part, we knew what we were getting into today when the show started at noon.
Knew what we were getting into.
I had come back to the rundown, which Gina prints for us, and I noticed that on occasion we will stick a picture or an emoji or something in our rundown just for really comedic appeal beyond anything else. But what would cause Gina to add the gif of Elmo with his furry arms up in the air and flames behind him?
Looks like Elmo's on fire.
To our rundown. Well, naturally, it's the return of the snack wraps at McDonald's that has Gina so excited today. I've rarely seen her so excited. Nor did I know these were no longer on the menu, by the way. So the return of the snack wrap is part of the story. The other part of the story is I didn't know they were gone. So, Gina, how long have these things been gone, and why are you so excited they are back?
So after some research, they have not been available since 2016. I thought it was longer than that. It feels like it's been longer than that.
The wait is over, Gina.
I know.
The wait is over. She's not the only one. I mean, there's a lot of people who have just been waiting for this. I think it hit the menu back in 2006, and people have just loved it. Why do you like it so much?
Oh man, putting me on the spot. It just is so. I'm not a big McDonald's person. I'll preface by saying that the snack wrap is just unbelievable, and I'm really hoping that it tastes the same now as it did when I was little. Because I used to get them after ballet practice all the time.
There it is.
And
There's the connection.
I'm really hoping they're still that good.
There it is, right? So now it takes you back to a time and a place and a thing, right?
Nostalgia.
That's exactly what it is for you. Does it taste great? Maybe. It sure did after ballet practice when you were a kid. And now in your mid-20s, maybe it doesn't taste as great, but you're still going to like it.
I hope so. Are you going to try it? I almost DoorDashed it for us today.
So it's interesting because we were kind of guessing, like, well, when did it go off the menu? And I said to myself and out loud to you, I think the last time I had one was like 2016, because at that time I was still doing shows until 9 at night.
You nailed the year. You knew.
Yes, because and here's how I know, because I was driving home. We had just finished building our new house, and there's a McDonald's on the way home, relatively close to our home. So I would stop in on occasion and roll through the drive-thru and get a snack wrap, and that was 2016, the year we moved into our house. Now, I don't think I've been back for anything other than a Shamrock Shake in recent years. My wife will go there a little more occasionally than me to get a coffee or something like that, but we're not a big McDonald's family, and that's about the last time I remember having a meal at McDonald's.
Well, here's the thing. The snack wrap, what it is, it's very simple. It's chicken breast meat, grilled or crispy, lettuce, cheese, and sauce in a soft flour tortilla. So it's very simple. And for me, the reason I liked it, I don't have this great fascination with it, but I liked it for the convenience, because if we go back to when it first hit the menu in 2006, during those days, I was anchoring down in the Quad Cities, and I would go out and I would report to, and sometimes in the morning. And I remember, I think it was after the breakfast hour that you could order these. So there would be this weird time frame of you'd be running, doing your thing, and then I'd have to go back to the station and anchor the noon show as well. So every once in a while, I'd just go to McDonald's and get that thing that was easy and quick. It filled you up, but didn't make you too full. That's what it was. It was a snack wrap. Just chicken breast, some lettuce, some cheese, and some sauce, and a flour tortilla. It's really nothing fancy, but for me, it was the convenience of it, and that it was simple.
Well, if you've been missing it for the last 9 years or so, and maybe the home versions of the snack wrap haven't gone very well, rest assured, you can either drive through, pop into McDonald's, or do what Gina will be doing, and that's DoorDashing snack wraps to her apartment later tonight.
It never left fans' hearts.
No, I guess it didn't. Look, they bring the McRib back every year. I don't think that's meat. This is at least something that's relatively in line with what it says it is.
Oh, you know what, though? I feel like we buried the lead, because it comes in two flavors now, and I don't remember this in the past, spicy and ranch. Spicy. Bring it on. Love that.
Okay, let's do it. All right, get your snack wrap on tonight. Best of luck, everyone. The Wisconsin's Midday News podcast is built by Side Again Limited. Subscribe and take us with you wherever you go. It's Wisconsin's Midday News podcast. Wherever you get your podcasts, you can find us, or just go to WTMJ.com and subscribe. Click on our shows page, and there you go. Get all the information right to you. Wisconsin's Afternoon News with John Mercure and Julia Fellow begins in just a few minutes.
When people think sleep apnea, they think CPAP. Now at Advent, we do all we can to help sleep apnea sufferers avoid the CPAP machine. And most sleep apnea sufferers who come to Advent are going to be able to avoid a CPAP altogether. Our unique Advent approach using simple in-office solutions can get your nose working and throat open all under one roof. You see, the root of every snoring and obstructive sleep apnea problem lies within the throat, nose, or both. At Advent, we know when we get the nose and throat working properly,